Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize podcast. I'm your host, the one, the only Boingo writer, and with me, as always, in the bullpen,
representing the 30-mile competition, the Vacuuminator is here.
Did you go for a 30-mile walk today?
No, you don't know that reference?
No, it's going over my head right this moment.
TMZ stands for 30-mile zone. And we got a
Oh.
lot of Hollywood drama to talk about in the news tonight, so I figured it was
Oh.
appropriate.
I didn't know that because I don't fucking give a shit about TMZ.
I don't either. I was just like, what could I do that is appropriate to my begrudging involvement with covering this shit and my disdain for it in general? And so I remembered TMZ was a thing, and I Googled what it stood for, and it turns out it stands for 30 Mile Zone, because they cover everything within 30 miles of Hollywood.
That's who I saw broke the fucking news.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jesus fucking Christ, whatever. We'll get to it eventually. We'll get to it when we get
sure
to it.
will, buddy. Oh boy, pal. I can't wait, friend.
In the meantime, hey, look, we got a podcast to do. We're talking about a big ass worm.
Yeah, Technivore is the villain of this week's Avengers of EMH villain. And if you're like me, you probably only know Technivore because there's that anime CGI movie, Iron Man: The Rise of Technivore. I never saw it, but I saw tons of ads for it back in the day.
Yes, no, Technivore. It's gonna eat you, Buster, because of vor.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if that's the Latin root for it. And, like, that's why we have carnivore and herbivore.
Mm-hmm. Just because vor is associated with that doesn't mean that's the only thing it means. Friggin' Zoomers.
Technovore, it's gonna eat Moby.
Mm-hmm.
Technovore, it's gonna eat Justice.
It's gonna eat the wires and the circuits in your body.
It's gonna eat Dead Mouse. Do you get the joke now?
Oh my god.
I am talking about EDM artists.
So this is an Iron Man focus episode.
This is a very.
And I really like this one. Yeah, I do like it, Buster. It's probably one of the most well-known episodes because there's a line from this episode, or more accurately, a like series of lines that went viral on Tumblr as a gift set, like the year after the show ended.
I don't remember that. What was that? Which one?
It's when he's messing around. It's when he's in the boardroom testing out Cap's new holographic
shield. Yeah, throw your shoe at me.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing for a minute, and only us Tumblr boomers remember that. That was a thing.
Yeah, no, it's A.I.M decides to say, like, fuck Tony Stark. They release a giant worm to kill him while they steal all his data.
And it's Die Hard in Stark Tower.
Yeah.
That's the plot of the episode, basically. But I do enjoy it. I also like just going back to that boardroom scene. Like, I feel like a lot of people tend to miss the point that, like, that scene is, like, a really good distillation of Tony's character. Because it's just a long string of things being thrown in Tony's face of, like, hey, you're not paying attention to your business. You're too wrapped up in superhero shit. You need to come back to Earth for a second. And he's like, what? No, it's fine.
Here's the thing that pushes you to Earth for a period of time, so you can't ignore it. A.I.M do be haters. A.I.M hate.
Yeah. A.I.M are dickheads, and that's another facet of the plot of this episode of them just showing up and going like, "Hey, you fucked us over last season. We're gonna get our revenge because we totally deserve revenge."
Meanwhile, Black Panther and Captain America are like hanging out with War Machine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
this is the first time War Machine appeared in the series, or was he in season 1 and I forgot?
Rhodey may have had a cameo in season 1. I don't think he was War Machine.
Okay, because I got the feeling this is like one of the only focus episodes he gets in the whole show. So I was like, let's look up who plays War Machine. And can you guess who plays War Machine?
Who?
Bumper Goddamn Robinson. Do you know who that is?
No.
That's animated Bumblebee and Blitzwing.
Huh.
Yeah. He's also like after this show, when they did the Avengers Assemble show, from that point on, he became the go-to animation and video games voice for Falcon.
Hey, at least he has a consistent role, you know?
Mhm.
He has that go-to, like, hey, he's got the voice.
Yeah, Bumper Robinson is good people. He's good actor. Well, I shouldn't say he's good people. I don't know him personally, but I assume he's good people. I've not heard any allegations against him, and he's had a lot of good roles, and this is one of them. Like he blends in seamlessly as this universe's version of Rhodey, I thought.
Oh yeah, no, Rhodey's good. Remember it's Scroll Cap, but like he doesn't do anything to make you go like, oh, they're just writing a Captain America ep thing. It's like, no, the entire time you are aware he is a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
And
so like you're always like reading double entendres into everything he's doing.
Oh yeah, like the last scene, he's like, oh, Pepper's going like, oh no, the hard drive. And he goes like, I have the hard drive.
And you're like, oh fuck.
You know, good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good.
Also, like him getting the holographic shield, which is again, just like going back to that. I don't know why I'm so fixated on it, but I do really like that boardroom scene
because I think
just like Tony being distracted.
I think that distills Tony Stark to a very great degree of just like he's a guy who's smart, who can do a lot of interesting things. Right.
And he doesn't particularly care about the day-to-day operations
because it's easy for him. Day-to-day operations of Stark Industries is less like child's play.
Mm-hmm.
He's not challenged by it.
Yeah, it makes sense that he would like ignore everybody during boardroom meetings and be like working on a project while like half asleep, and it just works for him in a way that it might not in adaptations of certain other heroes in like big budget live action scenarios and highly critically acclaimed trilogies.
Vac is coming in adult like in boardroom scenes. Hey, I like the boardroom scene too.
Yeah. So I fucking hate that boardroom scene in The Dark Knight. I'm sorry, that's the difference between Bruce and Tony. Bruce cares about his company's day-to-day operations. Tony is too wrapped up in other shit.
Tony's too wrapped up, and he just is also just like, he's kind of done with it. He doesn't want to fuck it. It's just like, can I just be Iron Man? Can I just use the money and just help people?
Pepper's like, dude, we are hemorrhaging money. We can't keep up with the Hulk's diet.
Bruce is the balance, Tony is chaos. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, like, saying that Batman and Iron Man should be, like, the equivalents in both universes isn't the most accurate thing, but I think saying Tony and Bruce are each other's equivalent in the universes is true.
Mm-hmm. I also like Maria Hill's inclusion in this episode to kind of pivot a bit. Good. And how like they're playing at Civil War, but they're doing it so much more logically than the comics because it's not Tony leading the charge. It's Maria Hill having to like try and browbeat him into it. And even then, he's got like all the fucking logical responses that everyone on the internet came up with back in the day.
But you can also see the gears turning in his head. It's just like, that could fix a lot of the problems I'm going through of just like having to have all this balance. If there were more people working together, we could do more things. And you can see the logic in his head kind of going like, Yeah, they were planning a Civil War, I think, on season 3.
Yeah, it's like this season is Secret Invasion. Next season was probably going to be Civil War, and they're laying groundwork for Civil War here.
Which is odd because those are completely reversed in the comics.
Yeah, but it almost makes more sense that there would be like a stronger sense of distrust in the super community after a bunch of them were found out to be Skrulls.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of all that kind of stuff, she's going like, oh yeah, no, the Fantastic Four are public figures, but what about Spider-Man or the X-Men?
Just throwing those names out there. Is that the first time Spider-Man and the X-Men have been mentioned in the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Which, if you think about it from the timeline of when things got published in Marvel, would make sense because it was Fantastic Four, then it was all the Avengery characters, so Hulk, Iron Man, Cat, like those guys. Then they became the Avengers. Then the next year, Spider-Man and the X-Men came out.
Yeah, no, Buster. The Spider-Man episode in this show, I've seen it before, and it's a whole can of worms.
I remember at least the scene with him and Cap, and I was like, that's their relationship to a T.
Oh yeah, no, the episode itself is good. It's just the fucking what they did with the voice actor.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But overall, this was a good episode. Good,
Yeah,
solid.
this is a really good, solid episode. A lot to sink our teeth into for a nice change of pace with Avengers.
I do like the design for Technophore. I don't remember what he looks like in the comics, but it's a good,
Yeah.
like
I said, all I knew Technivore from before this was a freaking CGI anime that I never actually watched.
because like it would be so easy to just make him look like a Mazo or Brainiac or something like that, but go like, nah, he's a fucking worm.
Yeah, no, he's a big old wormy bug boy.
He's a big old wormy bug boy, and
He's
like
gonna be a monster he's gonna be a monster of the week in King Oger next week. I guarantee it.
Good tech, good. Also, can we just say the animation was really solid?
Yeah.
There was a lot of really good, smooth, just like turning and emotion.
War Machine really looked good for a simplified style.
Mm-hmm. The only CGI Marvel cartoon was that Captain America Iron Man movie. Don't remember anything about that.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. Buster.
Should we watch the Marvel anime? Should we watch some of the Marvel animes eventually?
Weren't they pumping those out like every 6 months at one point? Like they were the DC direct-to-DVD movies?
Yeah, no, they worked with Madhouse and they made Iron Man, Wolverine, X-Men, and I can't remember the fourth one. There was a fourth one.
Well, maybe that's what we'll do when we finish EMH. Fuck going to another show. We'll just watch those things for a while.
And then there's also the two later anime that
There was a Blade.
Oh, that might have been it. It might have been Blade. Iron Man and Captain America are fighting Taskmaster in that movie. Gotta love a Tasky. Gotta love Tasky.
Thanks, Aki.
Thank you, Aki, for
Aki coming in clutch with the plot details.
Coming in clutch. We're revving that transmission, and we're just fucking pumping it into 6th gear.
Mm-hmm.
The joke is that you need a clutch to operate a manual transmission.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, if you're going to come in clutch with anything, you better come in clutch with your support for Modular Media. Because if you enjoy watching this live, I'm queuing you up to grab the news.
I know. It's just the point. If
you enjoy watching No Prize Podcast, you got to make it so we can do this more regularly. So give us the support. Fuck off. Give us the support we need in the YouTube algorithm. Type down in the chat. Leave a comment if you're watching on the replay. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Ring the bell in order to enable notifications so you know whenever we go live. And don't forget to help us out on the social media. You can follow us on Twitter at The Modular Media. Follow us on Subreddit. It's r/Modular Media. And we have a Tumblr, which is just at Modular Media. And, you know, there's all kinds of great stuff going on all around Modular Media. There's not just this show, but we have our weekly Tokusatsu show, Twit, This Week in Toku, where myself and Buster talk about all the latest news and new releases. Obviously, we referenced there's a new Super Sentai going on right now, and it's been pretty freaking good so far.
Here's the thing. I have never watched a Super Sentai all the way through. This will
really?
probably be my first one. I've watched like the first episodes of like several Super Sentai, and it's always just like, oh, that was fun, but I have something else I need to do right now, and I just never get back into it.
Yeah, I feel you.
So like, this is the first one I've watched more than one episode. I've watched 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good.
You only got 2 more till the full team assembles, and then I'm willing to bet, just speculating on King Oger a little bit here, I'm willing to bet next we're either going to go into a little like deposing the evil king arc, or we're just going to go straight into Six Ranger arc. Because
Um,
we've already got leaks about the Six Rangers, so I could see that happening. But also, let's get
here's
rid
the
of that
thing.
dickhead Evil King.
Here's the thing I would like to say that I know isn't gonna happen, but just because I'm a classics nerd,
Mm-hmm.
you know who the Six Rangers should be?
Who?
A court jester.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
To point
However,
out the flaws of the kings.
that would be really good. I don't know if we know like the character type for the Six Ranger, but I know we have leaks that have said it's going to be a Green Ranger that I think is based off of like a wasp or something like that. And its weapon is going to be a blaster that looks like a can of bug spray.
That's cute. And Aki, this show isn't green screen. They're using a Sony version of
Spider
the.
Ranger. Thank you, Buster.
They're using a Sony version of the volume.
Yeah.
So like yeah,
It's
there are some green screen, but they're using new technology. They're trying things.
I'm trying to remember what the exact technical term. I think it's like background projection or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, background projection has been a special effects technique for decades. But
Hmm.
before it was literally using a projector.
Yeah.
Now background projection is using LED panels and complex algorithms to check camera angles in a live rendered CG environment, often using Unreal. That's how you're able to get good angles and everything. So it's a new attempt at background projection, but it's like more
Yeah.
advanced. There's a lot more cool technical details with it. I genuinely think that's one of the best new things for special effects
Oh yeah, and it's really cool
cinematography.
that Toei has adopted it so quickly.
I have a feeling it's partially just Sony going like, "Hey, we want to test this." Toei.
Mhm. uh, and I mean, like it's looking pretty good so far for weekly tokusatsu. It's certainly not as polished as it is in things like The Mandalorian,
Oh no.
but it looks really good for a weekly kid show that you have to get out at a certain time.
I'd
And
only say there's like maybe at most in an episode one or two things of compositing that looks a little wonkadoo, and that's just mostly
uh-huh.
because they are trying to get angles that are like hyper stylized where they can't use the Sony volume.
Yeah. And even then, like there's still like really impressive stuff going on. Like that fight that was in the Yellow Ranger City this last
Mm-hmm.
week. They only had free actual physical buildings for that fight, but the combination of the background projections and CGI buildings inserted into the shots, you can't tell. It looks like it's just this really perfectly crowded city, and like the robots are barely fitting in there.
And just all of the cinematography and the action is very fascinating. It's like they are trying new things.
Yeah.
Like the previous two seasons of Sentai, it seems very much like they were trying a new formula, then they were trying new writing techniques. Now they're
Mhm.
going, all right, let's try something completely different cinematography, technical aspects. Let's try.
Yeah, constantly innovating.
Yeah, constantly,
Uh,
constantly innovating.
but
No, what?
that's our 10-minute digression into Japanese live action superheroes. We should probably get into American live action superheroes.
Well, first we're not going to talk about live action superheroes. We're going to talk about the sad passing of a Emmy award winning writer for Batman, Gargoyles, and Spider Man, Michael Reeves. If the thing would show up, there it is. Died at 72.
Yeah, apparently it was like a sort of an old age slash he had been putting up with Parkinson's for a long
Mm-hmm.
time kind of a thing. So it's not like this was a shock to anyone. People close to him knew this was coming, but it's still sad. 72 is still a relatively young age to go. Um, and if you don't know, yeah, this man is hugely important to a lot of 90s animation. He wrote several episodes of Gargoyles, excuse me. He was a producer and staff writer on Batman the Animated Series and is actually credited with writing Heart of Ice, the episode that made Mr. Freeze into a real goddamn character. Um, and he developed Spider-Man Unlimited. He was on the sort of production team that came up with the concepts for that show.
Which was just like 1 year too early because goddamn, imagine if Batman Beyond and Spider-Man Unlimited aired at the same time.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Wouldn't that have been a time?
But yeah, no, sad to see someone go, but still, at least he lived what seems to be a well-longed life.
Yeah, he did tons of other stuff besides that. Those are
I
just the
mean,
big highlights that pertain to this
I
show.
mean, renowned novelist.
Yeah.
I don't know what novels
Uh,
he
his
wrote.
last his last novel, he collabed on a series with another writer in 2015. So fairly prolific late into his life.
And now to the beginning of the deluge of what the fuckery. All right.
So
Marvel's Victoria Alonso reportedly fired over working on another studio's movie.
So if you are not aware of Victoria Alonso, like I think a lot of us were, she has been basically the president of VFX and production coordination since the beginning of Marvel Studios. She's been there as long as Feige. Uh, and she was unceremoniously fired earlier this week. I think it was like Tuesday, Wednesday. Um, and for a minute there, people were like, "What the hell is going on?" We've like people going, "I've never heard of this lady." People going like, "Whoa, she's been there for a long time. Why was she suddenly randomly fired? What's the deal?" Um, Now, from what we know, this was not Feige's decision because Feige is technically her or was technically her boss. This was a Disney decision. And Disney is saying that they did this because she was in breach of contract for working on an upcoming I can't remember if it was Warner Brothers or another studio, but another studio's movie that's
I think
coming
it's
out.
Amazon.
Yeah, and that sounds right. An Amazon movie. I've also heard rumors that apparently she was kind of a mean boss, kind of a bitch, would stick you with horrible jobs and working conditions if she didn't like you, but that's all rumor and hearsay. And kind of reeks of we're just trying to throw more coal on the fire now that she's gone. Um, and her lawyer has been putting out statements saying that like Disney's claims that she was fired for working on another movie are bullshit, and there's a lot more to the story, and like they're going to be turning this into a long, protracted thing. Basically, there's a lawsuit coming.
Yeah.
Uh, and it seems weird. It seems wonky. I don't know if it's actually going to affect any projects because, like, she was a boss who was basically just in charge of making sure everybody was where they needed to be and doing their job. But I don't know. It's weird. It's fucky, and it was weird, like, constantly seeing updates about that all week.
I did see some people from the VFX industry basically going like, yeah, she was not great to work with. But I think we could just say that in general, Marvel has not been great to work with for VFX. Whether
Yeah,
it's the production as a whole or her specifically, we cannot say. We're not part of the industry.
yeah, I saw that too, and that's why initially I did theorize that like, okay, maybe she was let go as like they're trying to clear house so that they can get rid of their reputation for being shitty to work with on VFX. But like I then like a day later is when the whole thing of her working on another studio's movie came out, and now I don't know. So I'm just like, this is a fucking weird thing, and I hate that I'm going to have to semi keep an eye on it for the purposes of this fucking show.
I bet we will hear nothing about it for 6 to 8 months, and we'll just hear, "Oh
They
yeah, they
settled.
settled out of court."
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
That's what's gonna happen.
Hmm.
Because Disney has the fucking money bags to do that. They just have.
Yeah, they're the Nintendo of America. They have I know
No,
what I just
Nintendo of
said.
America
Shut the
is
fuck up.
Nintendo of
Shut the fuck
America.
up. They have deep enough pockets that they can continue failing for like another couple decades, and it won't really matter.
And now on to the second big part of the fucky wucky this weekend. Jonathan Majors was reportedly arrested this weekend on the charge of strangulation, assault, and harassment. His rep claims he's done nothing wrong. We look forward to clearing his name and clearing this up.
Yeah, so this was a thing that kind of dropped out of nowhere, like right in the middle of components last night. I don't believe we acknowledged it, but yeah, I did see it drop, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna have to. Okay, more fuel for the fire. Let's fucking go. And then that's like an ironic. Let's fucking go. I'm not excited about this because Jonathan Majors seemed like a really nice guy and seemed like he was mostly good to work with. And then this comes out, and you're like, oh shit, oh fuck. Like I know there were people who were immediately like, yeah, felt out of left field. You're correct, Nightmare. I know there were a lot of people who were going like, oh, what does this mean for the MCU?
That's not
Fuck
your.
you.
Yeah,
Doesn't
no.
matter.
That's a back of the head, keep it to yourself thought.
Mm-hmm. I was going, oh shit, what does this mean for his reputation as a person? What does this mean for the person this happened to? Because, like, here's the thing. He looks fairly innocent in that photo. Jonathan Majors is a huge fucking dude. He's built like a brick fucking shithouse. If he hit somebody, I would be very worried for that person's mortality.
I mean, he also just came off of fucking training and filming Creed 3, doing boxing training. He knows how to throw a fucking punch.
Yeah. So, I was worried for that person's well-being. I was worried for his reputation, and I was worried for the industry as a whole because we just got through with Ezra doing shit that's like, it's not a contest, but is kind of way worse in my opinion, and they've gotten off scot-free. So, I don't want somebody to get off scot-free for assaulting a woman. But, like, what does it say about the industry if a white person does and then a black person doesn't?
And there's just, like, a bunch of other little bits and pieces came out about it. I'm pretty sure the upcoming ones.
Next article.
Yeah. So we'll just get to that real quick. Boop. Sociopath and abuser by filmmakers amid arrest. So he got arrested. Mm-hmm. And people from back in his college days, directors and fellow actors, basically came out and said, like, not surprised this happened. I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner. When we knew him, he felt like a sociopath and an abuser.
Weirdly non-specific language too, of like, oh, he's always been this way as far as I know, but like not citing any specific instances that they can remember. Just like, I don't want to discount their stories, but stuff that did kind of come off like, oh, this guy's in trouble and I have a past with him, so I better just distance myself and say like, oh yeah, he was a problem back in the day, I remember.
Here's the thing, like, there's a lot of little bits and pieces you could do there. I'm just going to read some of the article. Alan wasn't the only one to voice his opinion on Majors, as Broadway Helmeter actor Tim Nicolai supported claims of the actor's troubling behavior dating back to his time attending Yale University. Nicolai said, I'm just going to say this about Jonathan Majors and be done with it. Folks at Yale and the broader NYC community have known about him for years. He's a sociopath and abuser, and that is how virtually everyone speaks about him. It is a shame it took this long for him to be reported.
And, like, I can agree with that. And you never want to blame people for not speaking out. But part of my mind does go to, you're not being specific. You're not citing instances. And you're saying this person should have been called out a long time ago. We've had multiple speaking out movements in the last couple of years. Why haven't you spoke out about them before if you knew this?
And like, you don't want to just blame them for not speaking out. Like, it's a very touchy situation, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
then,
like, for if I may, just real quick, that whole just thing reminds me of, like, remember the Pro Jared thing when all the it started with cheating on wife stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And then two little fuck nuggets came out and said, like, he solicited nudes from us and we were minors. And it was just like, what the fuck? And it turns out, no, they lied to him about their age.
Yeah, and the thing is, these aren't even other women who are throwing these accusations at majors. These are like guys he went to college with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're supposedly enlightened, you would have had nothing to fear from calling him out by now.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? I don't want to say who's right and wrong in that situation. It is it's a thing that happens. The next thing,
part 3 in the saga.
Jonathan Majors' accuser recants assault allegations, says attorney.
So his attorney put out a big fucking statement this afternoon that basically said, to boil it down in simple terms, he was arrested because in a situation where
in New York City, which is where they were.
In New York City specifically, when there's a situation like this, somebody has to be arrested. Now, what do you mean a situation like this? The woman in question, who was reportedly a friend of his, was having an emotional crisis and hurt herself, and he was trying to restrain her, and so it didn't look good for him. But the attorney is saying they have 2 different copies of CCTV footage. They have written statements from people who were there that say he was not assaulting her. And he himself is refuting the allegations that he's assaulted her. And the assaulter has said, like, no, that's not what happened. Now that I'm right, in my right mind, I can tell you that's not what happened. So we don't, like, it's weird. It's kind of fucky-wucky. It could be like they paid all these people off because big Hollywood money, in the same way that what happened with Ezra.
Here's the thing. Also, I hate to put it this way. Jonathan Majors isn't at big Hollywood money level yet. He's still early days.
Yeah, he's early in his career. And, like, the other thing that we kind of touched on at the beginning of this, or I did, he seemed like a nice guy in every fucking interview. Like, I've never seen, like, TMZ footage of him snapping in public or anything like that. So I'm inclined to believe this is all a huge misunderstanding. Now, if it comes out it isn't, fine. I'll go ahead and say he was a secret asshole the whole time, and that sucks. But right now, I'm like, let's wait and see, but I'm erring on the side of positivity.
And, like, there's this variety of things that, like, here's the thing. Maybe he was a fuck asshole in fucking college. He could have grown up.
Yeah.
He could have went, like,
grow and change as they get older.
So, like, to say, because this man's fucking in his 30s.
Yeah.
It's been a decade.
Aki in the chat, honestly, it just sometimes feels like clout chasing for the sake of it. Like how Gaiman is being blamed for the whole Internet Archive lawsuit when Gaiman is actually a big supporter of Internet Archive.
Yeah. It's a lot of things back and forth. Do I think Jonathan Majors is completely without blame? No, he probably could have handled any situation 10 times better. If we are to assume he is innocent, because that's what you should do, and innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Let's say the situation just got out of hand and it was just not pretty looking. He could have handled it differently, do all that kind of stuff. But if he is
guilty, then fuck him. And hey, those of you who are worried about MCU,
they've recast it before.
Simplest fucking solution in the world. You just say every variant from this point on of Kang looks different because fuck you, it's comics. Who cares?
Yeah.
Now I will warn people, we do have a few Kang-related things in the news later on that came out before this.
Yes.
So there will be some later on in the show, but we're just going to have to deal with it, and we're going to have to take it as its own thing. Because for all we know, this could all be blown over by this time next week. And I hope it is, honestly. If it isn't, we'll provide updates and say fuck you.
What I can see happening is they will present the information to the courts of New York City. I don't think it'll go to a criminal court. I think it will be settled. I think it will be dealt with behind closed doors. We will never know the true verdict of anything unless Jonathan Majors.
Oh, we'll know it, but we'll know it when you and I are in like our 60s.
But like Jonathan Majors and their attorneys will make a statement going like, we have settled this whole thing. This is what we can say. This is what we did. And Disney will go like, all right, you're going on probation. You are going on an apology tour. You are doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You are like, if you want to keep working with us, I don't think we'll ever know the full black or white of the situation. It'll probably just always be a little gray, and you're either going to have to be okay with that or not.
Yeah, that's just how life is sometimes. And
it's like Bill Murray. Yeah, hear some stories, but then you just see some other stories about Bill Murray being an okay dude, and you just go like, people are complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, guess what? On better news, Owen Wilson had said, seemingly confirms, Loki Season 2 release window.
Yeah, so he was doing an interview for some fucking thing. I don't know. I didn't check. And he got asked about some Loki Season 2 set photos, and he was like, oh, yeah, that's a thing that's going on. And, that's going to be releasing in late September. So that's probably when it's been moved to, because I think originally we thought April. Yeah. And then they changed it to coming soon on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's been moved to September, and they just haven't said so publicly yet. But that's fine. We're still getting it before the end of the year.
I mean, it's also just not that big of a deal of him kind of going like, I think it's that. Mm-hmm. So I can understand.
Well, we know that's just what they told him as a tentative date.
Yeah. But either way, cool. Loki was really good. I can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion's Disney Plus premiere reportedly suffers a delay. That's fine.
Yeah, this is another one that got a coming soon stamp on it, and people are wondering if it's like just going to be a month or what.
Yeah, that's fine. Honestly, if this is to like polish up the CGI, the VFX, good. Yeah. Polish your fucking way, buds. I would much rather you delay and polish now going forward, because you took too big of a bite, and now you're going like, oh man,
oh, we fucked up.
So like, yeah. Here's the thing: you fucked up. You did too much at once. I don't think it's. I think they only suffered a little bit. I don't think it would. I don't think they went from like B graded movies to like F graded movies. I think they went from B to C.
Yeah.
Still passing grade.
Yeah.
And you may call me a shill now, chat. Please and thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Deadpool's 3 reportedly involves battle against Loki's TVA and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, so this is technically a leak. We don't have confirmation of this yet, but somebody who is a very trusted Hollywood insider has been reporting that part of the plot of Deadpool 3 involves a cameo from not just Mobius, but Miss Minutes. Now, as a slight update, Tara Strong was asked about it at a convention this weekend, and she was like, I haven't been fucking contacted about doing more Miss Minutes, but I'd be down for it. Because they probably contact voice actors at like the last fucking minute. Yeah, I think that would be cool, and I think that would actually make sense as a way to get Loki into the MCU. Or not Loki, Deadpool, excuse me. If that's what's happening, I'm down for it. If not, hey, what a fun rumor.
To be fair, he also has Disney PR. Are you talking about Owen Wilson? Or are you talking about Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, Aki might be on a bit of a delay there.
Might be. Who knows? Here's the thing. There's a YouTuber called Nando V Movies.
Mm-hmm.
Who made like what he would do as a pitch for Deadpool 3. Mm-hmm. And there is a cameo from Owen Wilson from the TVA.
Yay!
Like in his pitch, because basically his pitch is, and honestly, I love it because of it.
The TVA comes in and starts pruning the Fox universe.
No, Deadpool has to fight Mojo because Mojo is a producer of this entertainment and he's canceling their universe. But Deadpool is too popular, so he's being transferred.
That's fun.
And Deadpool is going like, no, and he's trying to save Vanessa and his kid.
Who'd you cast as Mojo?
Ooh. Who would I cast as Mojo? Has to be someone who can play Slimy real fucking easy.
I have the perfect pick that Hollywood will never do.
Okay. I'm going to give you a very, like, out of left field pick.
Okay.
John Hamm.
Okay. Like just John Hamm, or John Hamm in a fat suit, or John Hamm CGI?
CGI. Have him be the voice. But, like, I can see him being that very, like, smooth, like, come on, let's make a deal kind of guy. And also, it'd be really interesting to work against type. Yeah, go.
Mike Stokloska.
Honestly, when I tried to prevent a friend trying to harming herself, it wasn't pretty and I had to get rough, so it's believable. Yeah, it is believable. That's the thing.
Okay, so Aki's still talking about Jonathan Majors there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's one of those things where we'll never know for sure, but it seems like it's more of like a he was trying to be a good guy and the law just wasn't on his side.
Yeah, and even from the initial like reports of like what happened from the other person's side was she got upset at seeing another woman text Jonathan Majors, and he got angry at her and started assault. And if you look at it in a certain point of view, do an Obi-Wan, her being upset could be going into a manic episode and doing a lot of things, and him just trying to stop her could be seen like layers.
Yeah.
That's fine, Aki. It's not the end of the world.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's fine. If YouTube's being a fucker, we're not mad at you. You're good, Aki.
And we weren't even mad at you in the first place.
Yeah. Just inquisitive.
Inquisitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's a lot of things.
Yeah. I get the feeling we're going to be touching on it a lot for the next couple weeks at least.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne confirms surprising Marvel Cinematic Universe return. He's going to be in What If.
He's going to be in What If. Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Bitch. I fucking cooked you a meal once.
You did. Thank you. It was delicious. He's coming back in What If as his character from Ant-Man 2, but like in a universe where he got to be Giant Man.
Here's the pitch for next the Modular Summit. I'll make y'all some fried chicken.
We should just do a cooking show.
I mean, I cooked fried chicken for dinner tonight. Loki's Miss Minutes cast doubt on Deadpool 3. That's the thing you were talking about.
We were talking about that. I put that in a slightly wrong spot in the order. My apologies.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's a Deadpool.
Look at that, man.
X-Men 97 Disney Plus reboot's main villain revealed.
Sinister. Mr. Sinister is the main villain of the 90s X-Men cartoon.
Sinister, reboot. He's so hot right now.
Mm-hmm. Good old Nathaniel Essex coming in and fucking up shit for the X-Men.
I mean, he's a damn good villain. He's a good bad guy.
Had they done him or like hinted at him at all in the 90s show?
He showed up, but I don't think he was like a major character arc thing. He showed up like an episode or two and it's just like, I'm Mr. Sinister. Hello.
Okay, because I think the only thing we knew about the show until this was just that like it was going to be a whole story in the season. Like they were going to do the streaming show thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean I think that works with the format of that show.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they're not doing the thing that was originally rumored, where like everybody was like, oh, because it's the new hotness, they're gonna do Krakoa in the X-Men 97 universe. And I'm like, but they're already doing that as a comic, and that's cool, but like we don't
We don't need it.
Fucking 30-year-olds who don't read comics aren't going to know what that is. You don't need to do that in the show.
Yeah. But hey, cool, Mr. Sinister. Zack Snyder reveals new details for his Justice League movie marathon hitting theaters.
Yeah, so as we talked about last week, Zach put out a teaser. Zach about saying just Zach there made me remember Zach the Lego Maniac.
Zach Maniac.
Zach the DC Maniac is back at it again. He's doing a movie marathon of the free DC movies he directed, with all the proceeds going to benefit the American suicide shit.
Let's see where purchase tickets. I'm looking. I don't see. Oh, here, maybe here.
It's probably in the actual tweet, I think.
It's not.
There's some acronym he posted, and I googled it.
Let's see if it's in like a response to his tweet, because it wasn't in the initial tweet. Hello, Zack Snyder.
Oh, it took you to his profile.
Yeah. Q&A. Oh, that's cool. There's gonna be Q&A there.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets on sale. Super excited. AFSP, whatever that is. ASSP.
All right, let me Google that real quick. I want to get it right. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So yeah, basically, it's basically a similar thing. He's putting the movies out in theaters to basically utilize the cults to make money for a cause that's really close to him now.
Yeah. You know what? I don't hate Zack Snyder as a person.
No.
I'm not a fan of his movies, but like
I don't like him as a creator. I don't think like he has a good take on DC characters, but I think he's probably like a decent guy to have a meal with.
No, you know what Zack Snyder would be great at?
What?
Early Image.
Mm.
Pure style, very little substance, grit, grime.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Zack Snyder making a Wildcats.
Zack Snyder makes the new Spawn movie.
Zack Snyder, what's the one that Rob Liefeld created?
Fucking. Oh, I should know this.
Youngblood.
Yeah, he does.
Zack Snyder's Youngblood.
Oh. Zack Snyder's Glory.
Ooh, Zack Snyder, Savage Dragon. He would Zack Snyder, if Zack Snyder ever did Savage Dragon, he would have the cum scene.
He would. Also, before we move on, I should just mention, like, the poster is hilariously into itself.
Oh, yeah. Hey, for the people who are into it, they're into it. Whatever.
And I love how the conspiracy theorists were like, one of Superman's hand is, like, open, but there's only 3 fingers out, and one of his hands is closed. That means Zack's still got more work to do, because there's so many heroes. And I'm like, y'all are approaching Kamen Rider fandom number theory levels of crazy.
The number theory was a cute, like, thing to just go like, hey, it's kind of a neat little lineup. Not for anything actual predictive or thematic, or it's just like a cute little thing.
By the time you got to Ghost and people were going, the 2 icons on top of each other makes an 8, it's like, fuck off.
That I would love to just see a fandom creation of just like trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
Not with any like belief that they're being true or genuine. It's just more of like trying to bullshit it, you know?
Oh yeah, that's definitely what they were doing at a certain point. Like
it was a joke.
The drive cars, you turn them a certain way and they kind of look like a 7 if you squint.
Hey,
What a time.
Guess what? In more fucking comic book movie drama, Zachary Levi basically says like, yeah, Dwayne the Rock Johnson ate babies and killed
Dwayne Johnson was mean to me.
Basically saying like, yeah, he didn't want me to do the cameo. He didn't want to do the cameo for our movie.
And then he did. You can just go ahead and move on to the next thing. We're just gonna do this all in one go.
All right.
A couple days later, he just did this really awkward Instagram live where he just ranted and rambled for like 10 minutes straight about how like there was all this stuff he wanted to do for the Shazam movies, and Warner Brothers and Dwayne kept cockblocking him. And he's also like constantly going like, this is the truth. You have to believe in the truth, even when it's hard. And you know, we care about the fans, and we're just trying to give the fans the greatest experience ever. And like, I don't wanna like throw fuel on the fire, but it seems like ever since Zachary Levi made that tweet that came off as anti-masker, and we still don't know if it definitively was or not, he has just been putting all his eggs in the Shazam basket. And now that basket has fallen out from under him, because we didn't report on it, because we don't normally report on like how much a movie makes, but Shazam 2 bombed. It fucking bombed, like harder than Morbius. And I think now that that's the case, and like there's definitely no future for that corner of the DC universe, which does kind of suck because I really like the first Shazam. I feel like it's the best thing to come out of that whole period of DC movies. Mm-hmm. I feel like now that the future of that is gone, he's just throwing as much of a tantrum as he can on the way out.
Yeah. I think he's also just trying to say it's not our fault we couldn't make the movie we wanted. And he's trying to make sure, like, he's trying to get a fan, I hate to put it this way, a fan cult going to basically go like, James Gunn, we still have fans. There's something here.
Yeah. And like, that kind of makes sense. And like, I could see him just wanting to say that to James in general, because him and James are friends IRL. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last we see of the Shazam family in live action DC for a good long while.
Yeah. Shame.
Real shame. Though shout out to everybody who saw the Instagram live, and because they don't know how else to react to a white man with gray sideburns, all said, Zachary Levi should totally play Reed Richards now that DC is done with him.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
But hey, we got a digital release date for Shazam Fury of the Gods at April 17th.
Yep, it's coming out the week, like 1 month exactly after it hit theaters, and the week after Quantumania is supposed to hit Disney Plus. So we're just going to be doing back-to-back semi-new release covering episodes of this show next month.
Yeah, it's a shame about it coming out so soon, because that just shows a big lack of trust.
Yeah,
in the property.
They're going like, okay, our only chance is that people who wouldn't go to a movie theater in general anymore will want to see it once it's out on digital.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the case. Maybe it'll get a huge second wind on digital.
Maybe.
But I fucking doubt it.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Flash movie rating confirmed. Includes partial nudity.
It's gonna be PG-13.
Yeah.
We're gonna see somebody's naked behind.
How it's Ezra. It's Ezra.
It's either Ezra, or because of the like weird like half open shawl she's wearing in that prison break scene, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sasha.
Yeah. Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn first look. Look.
Yeah,
that's a Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I actually really liked this as a deviation from the classic Harley Quinn look. I'm notoriously somebody who's like just very against that in general, but every once in a while you can pull it off, and I think they pulled it off here. It's airing more on the sophisticated side and less on the
hot topic.
Yeah, hot topic, overly sexualized. Basically, I had to take a second to think of a way to not say slutty.
Stripper.
Yeah.
This looks like a costume from the White Knight comics.
I was about to say that. It looks very White Knight, and aside from the face makeup, but I think that's very in keeping with the character. And I still haven't seen the first Joker Joaquin Phoenix movie. But this look for Harley and this level of respect for the character to actually put her in something sophisticated and to cast somebody who is a fairly respected actress and performer in general, it has me fairly interested in this one. So I might check out the first one and see the second one when it comes out. We'll see.
Is it just me, or does she look like Natalie Portman in that one photo?
I can kind of see it.
Just a little bit. It's just like
Yeah.
you would if you say they were cousins, you could kind of go like, yeah, I can see that.
There's like a similar facial structure.
TMNT, Last Ronin getting a video game adaptation. That's cool.
Yeah, this leaked out this week. I forget what studio it is, but somebody's making a Last Ronin game. Last Ronin was hugely popular. A lot of people really liked it. I never read it. I only really found out about it when they started making action figures for it. I'm somewhat interested in seeing like post-apocalyptic TMNT Arkham alike is what I'm guessing this is going to be.
The senior vice president, the guy of the company who's making it, Doug Rosen says likened it to something like God of War or God of War Ragnarok. So I can see kind of like third person beat 'em uppy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I also think like this is probably going to be like a way more fleshed out version of that story because that story, if memory serves, because I've read like a couple, I watched the comic book episode.
Yeah.
There's like a weird original villain who's supposedly like the Shredder's grandkid or something like that. I think like he'll probably be in there as like the last boss, but I wouldn't be surprised if like they do a bunch of other TMNT villains as like bosses building up to him.
Yeah. I can see it being a good game. I can see it being fun. Hey, guess what? Todd McFarlane. Spawn now it's a bigger budget, A-list talent. Sure, yeah. Todd. Sure.
Yeah, he basically he was at a convention and somebody from comicbook.com did a video interview with him and he was like, "Yeah, we're still working on the Spawn movie and it's going to be great. You know, we've got some more A-list talent signed onto it, so it's not exactly going to be a small budget horror film anymore, but we're trying to sell it to a studio and they'll want to bring in more A-list people and make it real sexy. And then we're gonna see if we can get it back down to kind of the horror roots we wanted to go for, and it'll be great." Yeah.
Are Todd and George from the same area of the country?
Would not be surprised, because Todd is just like a hyperbolic version of George, if I'm being honest.
Hey, Lance Reddick will posthumously to be the voice of Hellboy in the upcoming Hellboy: Web of Weird.
Yeah. There's a Hellboy video game on the way, which I didn't even know about.
We told you about it during E3. That's when they announced it.
I have no memory of this. But that's probably because that was back when I was still in my video games are disgusting phase.
Yes.
Lance Reddick, who passed away last week, was announced to be the voice of Hellboy. Apparently, he had already recorded all his lines and everything, and they were just waiting to announce him along with the full trailer for the game. But because of his passing, they decided to go ahead and say, like, yeah, he's the voice of Hellboy, and we're going to do our level best to make this, like, a good send-off for him.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Lance Reddick. I hadn't watched any of the big projects he was in, but I knew him from his Eric Andre show appearance, and he fucking rocked that.
Oh, yeah. So. I love it, because, like, everyone doesn't know how to react to Eric Andre. He was like, "Fuck you. I know exactly how to fuck with this guy."
Yeah. R.I.P. Lance Reddick. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things that you just gotta say, like, okay, that's gonna happen. Like how you are totally gonna support Modular Media. So give us a like.
I have all the comment.
Okay. I wasn't sure how long I was gonna have to stall there.
And the first of a nothing burger kind of bullshit thing. Ethan Von Schreiber is upset that he can't draw women being hot.
He showed his ass on whose show is this again?
Is it Tim Pool?
It's Tim Pool, yeah.
Then he already showed his ass going on that show.
Yeah.
Tim Pool's a dickhead.
And he went on the show and just revealed that he was a dickhead, where he's basically going like, so women got mad at us in the 2000s on the internet, and then we hired them for some reason, and they started making it so we couldn't draw women the way we like to. You can't even define boobs anymore. There's like uniboobs now, or like one pec. It's weird. And I'm like, dude, did you fucking read Exterminators? And then he goes on and on about like, oh yeah, and there were suddenly women in the comic book offices, and so all these single guys who were working there just started flirting with them, as you do if you're a straight man. And of course, that's when all these workplace assault allegations came out, and that's where cancel culture really started.
Yeah. Did he do anything we actually care about?
I don't know. I've heard this guy's name before, but I can't like attach it to a specific project in my mind.
Let's do a quick googs.
Okay,
Let's do a quick googs.
Let's consult the Oracle.
Let's look at our orb.
Mm-hmm. Observe the viewing globe.
He did Flash, Rebirth, Green Lantern Rebirth.
Okay.
Okay, so he was a big worker with name.
DC?
Not the company name, the man name.
Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns.
Oh, he did that Rebirth. Okay.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin. Different Flash and Green Lantern Rebirths now.
Yeah, Flash Rebirth 2009.
Okay, so I've definitely seen this dude's art before. He was a solid artist, but like fuck him for speaking that way about those things.
Yeah. Yeah, he did some Marvel, not a super ton. He did a Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Hopefully he sees the error of his ways one day.
He's 40, he probably won't.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Silver Age artist Joe Giella, dead at 94.
Yeah, one of the final artists still alive from the early days of comics is no longer with us. From what I understand, like they credit him as a Silver Age artist here. This guy has worked on like early Captain America stuff alongside Joe Simon. And he was just basically a journeyman who worked for every company from the 30s up till the 60s. And still did a little stuff here and there as it went on. He didn't like create anyone significant, but he was involved. He was like tangentially involved in a lot of creations. Like he did work in one of the side stories in the issue of Flash Comics that Black Canary debuts in, and stuff like that. And it's just kind of sad because like he's touched on a lot of stuff throughout his career, and he's one of the final people from that era, and he's no longer with us. So, R.I.P. my man.
Into the Wild Blue Onder, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Ross has revealed a piece of work celebrating 60 years of Avengers.
Yeah, a little bit of a lighter news to kind of bring us into it. Just like a nice, big, sexy Alex Ross piece to go with the big 60th anniversary push for the Avengers, and oh man, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's all the classic Avengers. I am trying to check something. I'm trying to make sure of something.
I love how he did Green Hulk with the Gray Hulk forehead. That's cool.
Oh yeah. Little bit of a weird fucky wucky.
What's up?
Okay, look at all these members of the Avengers. Yeah, cool, fun, haha. On the upper right, we have Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He was only he was in a later Avengers team. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
He was none of the new Avengers are here.
Spider-Man's a new Avenger.
Yeah, but he was on a different Avengers team.
Oh.
Anybody who's just on the new Avengers aren't here. So no Luke Cage, no Wolverine.
Also, I love how Carol's in like her modern Miss Marvel costume, but not her Captain Marvel costume or her classic Miss Marvel costume. And then like fucking Monica Rambeau is there in her goofy ass like 70s Captain Marvel costume.
Captain Marvel? No. Carol's in her classic costume.
No, because, like, doesn't she have another one that came even before that?
That's the costume she was in the Avengers. That's her Avengers costume.
Okay, I could have sworn there was a different one.
Nope, that's her Avengers era costume.
Yeah, alright. Well, I mean, like, Moondragon's there, Black Knight's there, friggin' Beast is there. You got everybody. You got all the classics.
Beast, before he became a fuckhead.
Yeah.
Hey, even Jarvis is here.
Oh my god, I didn't notice Jarvis. That's great.
He's right there. Also, Rick Jones is right below him.
Yeah, let's go.
That's the Avengers.
That's the Avengers right there. Those two white guys.
Those two white men. But yeah, no, it's just fun to see, like, because now it's just kind of like, oh, the Avengers are all the Marvel heroes. It's like, no, these guys were the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Marvel reveals details about Venom's Summer of Symbiotes, including titles. Look, it's an event.
They put out a big banner image and like said these are all the titles that will be involved with it.
I don't mind having a bunch of micro events that only affect like a couple books.
Yeah. I don't love this image because it just kind of looks like goofy 90s exploitation in a way that I don't really dig, but I acknowledge plenty of other people are going to be into it.
Oh yeah, it is purely working on the joke of like, oh, it's the summertime. Haha, bikinis, everybody's at the beach, but there's
like this looks like
symbiotes.
one of those 90s X-Men pinup books.
Oh yeah.
Also, Symbiote Felicia. That's going to be, oh boy, Peter's going to be having an interesting summer.
Oh yeah. I love how they just have a bunch of different symbiotes and it's fun.
Yeah.
Like you have Red Goblin right there. You have Eddie right here.
Yeah. I'm still undecided if I'm actually going to read this or not because I'm generally avoiding Spider-Man at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. It ain't the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute and meant to be sexy. Marvel confirms release date of new Loki miniseries. New Loki.
Well, Loki's getting a new book and it's starting in Pride Month.
Gotta represent the pansexual genderqueer guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, realistically, he's always been a side character. So, like...
No, the MCU. He's a main character. He's his own boy now. Shut up, comic nerd.
No, what I'm saying is... he's a main character now, but it's very much people going like, oh man, he's cool. Let's do more with him.
Mm-hmm. Look at that Scrimble. Let's make a big deal out of that Scrimble. Let's make a mountain out of that molehill.
Hey, guess what?
What's up?
Marvel's shitting on Chip Zdarsky again.
What If Dark is coming this summer, everybody, and we're starting with What If Dark Spider-Gwen.
Which is What If, the series where every single question ends with, and then everyone dies?
Mm-hmm. This one shot is going to be, in the death of Gwen Stacy, Spider-Man dies somehow. And then main universe Gwen Stacy, except not, because this is a What If book, so it's a splinter universe. But like a traditional Gwen Stacy will become Spider-Man in the place of a dead Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Oh god, that's Greg Land.
Oh, it totally is. Look at that.
That's a horny face. Jesus.
Marvel's still employing that fuckboy, huh?
That's a porn face.
Greg.
First he shit on Chip Zdarsky by not continuing his What If. Then you shit on Chip Zdarsky by doing it with Greg fucking Land. Great. I'm so proud of you, Marvel. I love you.
I can't wait to read this.
Oh, god damn it. Hey, guess what? DC reveals new costumes for 3 fan favorite heroes.
Yeah, we now have the full layouts for what are going to be Green Arrow, Red Arrow, and Connor Hawk Green Arrow's new costumes in the new run. And they look pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't love how much color there is in them. Like, they look a little busy in some spots, especially Red Arrow, or is it called Arsenal in there? Arsenal, yeah, okay. Like, Arsenal has a little bit too much going on, but I do really like how Connor's looks. Like, something about the browns and the green really play well together.
I like how he has, like, the little jacket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're solid looks.
Yeah.
They'll be good McFarlane action figures in 6 to 9 months.
I like how it kind of looks like a weave texture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is very much, hey, here's some test art for making Green Arrow into the new fucking James Gunn universe.
Please be excited for this book. Please pre-order this book so it doesn't get canceled after 5 issues.
It'll get canceled after 4 issues.
Uh, Fine.
No, just read Green Arrow. Read Green Arrow.
Yeah, read about your boy Oliver Queen, self-proclaimed social justice warrior, 30-year-old white man.
I mean, he is a socialist.
Oh yeah. No. I legit do love Green Arrow though, because he's like the guy who means well, but is so liberal that he makes other liberals blush and go like, "You're being a dickhead."
He's not even. He's just he is the guy who would fall for trolls online and just make leftists look bad.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Time for get that collar ready.
Oh boy!
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, King figure, hot toys. Look at that. He's a hot toy.
Yeah. There's no spoilers in these images as far as I'm aware, and it's very good looking. It looks just like him from the movie. And this was revealed on Monday. I believe he got arrested Tuesday, Wednesday. So you can't get mad at Hot Toys for dropping this at an awkward time. They didn't know.
Yeah.
They couldn't have known.
It's a Hot Toys.
It's a Hot Toys. They made a good looking Hot Toy. What a surprise.
Let's go Spider.
Yeah, Mezco and their 112 collective line have announced a Ghost Spider figure, which I don't believe is based specifically on Spider-Verse or the comics. They tend to kind of do like their own in-between of various styles with their own little embellishments here and there. But obviously there's influence of both of them. She's got long hair like in the comics, but there's like some of the stylization of the effects looks very Spider-Verse. And overall, I think this one looks really damn good.
She also has the dimension hopping bracelet like in the comics.
Yeah. She's got the kind of goofy, expressive eyes. Like, this looks like a really solid Mezco. I don't currently own any Mezcos, so I can't speak to their quality myself, but, like, they always look like they do a really good job with their figures, and this is no exception. Maybe not the most, like, packed in terms of accessories, but you get a solid layout.
Yeah. Good little bit. Look at that.
Yeah.
Marvel Legends, Miles Morales from Spider-Man 2 game revealed. Look at that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. This is what that tease we were talking about last week turned out to be. Because remember, they were saying it was going to be get caught in the web. Oh, we're going the extra mile for this one. And here's the extra thing about this. It's basically a re-release of a figure we already have. This is the PS5 Miles that came out in the Far From Home wave a couple years ago. In the No Way Home wave, excuse me.
But that would have been for Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
This is for Spider-Man 2. It's a completely different logo.
Yeah. And I actually have that figure. It's a really solid figure. It's probably the best Marvel Legends Miles Morales. But if you already have it, there's no reason to get this. They're clearly just putting this out as like a filler here for people who missed it the first time or for people who want it now that there's a solo Miles game. Also have a static cat figurine. Because that didn't come with the original figure, but everything else here is the same.
Yeah, they could have put it in the backpack like in the game.
Yeah, I think that's just a mold they had.
Blake on Twitter. Oh yeah, the Spider-Man figures got fucking leaked.
Yeah, so these actually leaked way back in like November, but I didn't want to report on them because we don't. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Well, no. We had like a grainy potato quality image of them back then, but we don't typically report on leaks on this show. And I figured they'll get announced, they'll show up at a live stream eventually, and then they weren't at the last one. And then we got that tease last week, and I was like, oh, obviously we're going to get a pre-order of this wave, and because the movie's almost out, and we're probably going to be getting a final trailer soon. Nope, they just randomly showed up at Walmart's this week.
I mean, they look cool.
Yeah, they look great. I think this looks like a really solid wave. I think it's really fucking weird they're on retro cards when we're supposed to be going plastic free for anything where a retro card isn't absolutely necessary. And like a modern media thing, not absolutely necessary, in my
It
opinion.
might be contractually necessary from Sony to have the figures on display.
That's entirely possible. But I think the figures look really good. People were really up in arms about these when they first leaked, saying like, "Oh, they look really weird and wonky. They don't look like they go with the rest of your Legends." That's because they're trying to be animation accurate, you dumb fuck.
They aren't. They're
Um,
supposed to go. They aren't supposed to. They aren't supposed to.
yeah. But
Peter
I'm
B
definitely
could.
yeah, Peter B could. I'm definitely excited for this wave, though, just for the simple fact of finally Evelyn's spot. I don't care if it's of an adaptation of him where he might not be like the comics or the 90s animated show. I have been asking for Spot for so long. I am so excited to finally own a
I
Marvel
just
Legends
gotta
Spot.
say, I love how he has just like this fucking weird ass proportions. He looks like Slender Man with a fucking pot belly.
Yeah, and he comes with portal effects of like Miles's head and hand coming out. Ooh.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm definitely going to be picking up that one. But hey, you might be able to pick up one right now because if you go to the next news listing,
Look,
uh,
it's
yeah,
all
the
the
Guardians of the
Guardians.
Galaxy wave is also out. But we already knew about that wave. Uh, there was an Amazon listing that popped up last week, and this slipped through the cracks with me. I didn't notice it, but an Amazon listing popped up where it was just like Spider-Verse figure, Marvel Legends, you can pre-order. And so people were like, all right, let's see what this is. Let's go in on this. Let's take the chance. I got the extra cash. And people have just been getting random figures from this wave from that listing because the pre-order shipped out this week. Like this guy got Spider Punk, but I also saw somebody get Peter B. I saw somebody get Spider Woman. Uh, and it's just like it seems like it's just a random chance lotto thing because again, the wave hasn't been officially announced. And I want to stress how weird this is. This is the first time I can ever remember a Marvel Legends wave just showing up randomly before getting officially announced.
Yeah. Next week we'll start to pre-order for Avengers 60th items. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Pre-orders for
just Dan
Avengers.
letting everybody know what's up, which we appreciate.
And Marvel Multiverse Shazam movie Wonder Woman.
Yeah, this is our one bit of DC toy news this week, and it's a spoiler for Shazam. Apparently, Wonder Woman cameos at some point in the movie, and it was actually Gal Gadot. So here's a chance for Todd to re-release his Wonder Woman figure with some slight updates.
I mean, the
And it
hair is
actually looks
new.
really good.
Yeah.
I think this is like one of the best looking Wonder Womans Todd has put out. It's just a shame it's of a Wonder Woman that I'd rather not support monetarily.
Yeah. Could
But hey,
be
those are some nice
worse.
shiny golds.
It could be worse though. That's it for all that news.
We did the news.
Now it's time to talk about
God.
comics.
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
We're only an hour and a half into the show. That's plenty of
that
time to start a
that
completely
is
new
okay.
podcast.
Yeah. Oh man.
This show is
I
just
hope
3
you're right.
podcasts duct taped together.
You're not wrong. Oh my gosh.
Hey, guess what?
What?
You and I both read Punisher.
Oh, this fucking issue, dude.
This fucking issue gets at the heart of the tragedy of what's going down.
Just more and more of like Frank was always fucked, and he's just been slowly sliding down the slope.
But also, like, Frank doesn't want to be fucked, but the fuckery's just pulling him in.
He wants to be done. He's several times in this. Like, there's a recurring theme of him saying, like, no, Maria, the work will be done after today. And she's like, don't, like, there's a point where she just goes, don't come back until it's actually done. And he's like, fuck.
Because that's a whole big thing with her is she recognizes that Frank Castle is a killing machine. He is meant for blood and murder, and that's it. But
and she tells a story about like how she's like witnessed it before. This is not new to her.
But she's like, he chose me, and that's fucking hot. And she just wants him to. She's right now is like going like, I want you to make the choice. I want you to make that choice again. Can you make that choice again?
Also, there's like a really intense sequence towards the end where we finally get to see what the world looks like through his hand-possessed eyes now, and it's kind of fucked. But also, like, hey, Dan Yoon, Ryan Ting, Dwight Stahl, I would like a Marvel Legends army builder of that.
Oh man, there's so many great little elements, such as like her finding all the graves for the attempted resurrections of her kids.
Mm-hmm.
That Frank did himself.
Yeah. And
Oh,
the Avengers showing up and just being like, that's fucking enough, buddy.
oh, there's one fucking balloon that just has like the most brilliant little fucking snide comment. It's in the middle
Mhm.
of the Punisher's big like killing all this shit, right? And
Yeah.
it's just news going like all these terror attacks are killing all these criminals. Some people have even started wearing his symbol in
Yeah, like
everyday
they said,
life.
like bootleg merch of the new symbol is skyrocketing.
Like it is purposefully like we
Jason Aaron knows what the fuck he's been doing.
it's a point thing. It's a
The entire this entire issue is just like a weird metatextual meditation on like why the Punisher became a popular character in the first place, what the weird toxic appeal of him is, and it's beautiful.
and then you even get like the fundamental question of why don't the heroes fucking stop the Punisher? Cause it's fucking tough. It's hard.
Because Frank is scary.
Punisher's so good. Read Punisher, everybody. I
Yeah.
everybody was poo pooing on this concept before it came out, and now it's just like, oh, fucking Punisher.
Yeah.
You
Just goes to
read
show you never know.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I decided to hop on Wonder Woman this week because A, there's that Shazam crossover going on, and B, I might as well get myself engrossed in the status quo before King takes over so that I don't have to play like
Catch up.
knowledge catch up. I just know.
Now you just are
Um
mayonnaise.
yes, I'm just
Mustard.
I I'm that thing you get when you mix mayonnaise and ketchup together. That's what I'll be.
Do you want to call it the fucked up name that no one should actually call it? Or do you want to call it what fucking Mormons call it?
I didn't know
It's a big thing in Utah.
Mormons have a specific name for it. What is that?
Fry sauce.
That's fine.
Because they've started selling it as mayo chup.
You know what? It's about time the Mormons made a solid contribution to our society. So fry sauce it is. You heard it here first. I am team fry sauce.
Oh, remind me to clip that and send it to Hat. We joke about that all the time. That's it.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this issue is fine, but it really feels like it's just going in a circle because it starts off with Wonder Woman confronting Hera and being like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing? Are you gonna make me try to have to stop you?" And Hera's like, "Get the fuck out of here," and like ties her up on a cliff. And then a guy comes and rescues her and is like, "We should go back to Paradise Island and regroup with your friends and figure out a way to mount a counteroffensive against Hera." And Wonder Woman's like, "That's a great idea." And then they go and do that. So like it's essentially just spinning wheels, introducing a new mysterious character, and we'll see where we go from here next time. Also, there's a backup where Mary Marvel, or I'm sorry, the new champion of Shazam, shows up on Paradise Island and like teams up with some random Amazons to fight like weird ocean zombies that are attacking them. Because this is also kind of a Lazarus Planet tie-in, and that was a thing in Lazarus Planet. And then she gets sent right back. So again, kind of just spinning wheels. This is not the best issue for me to jump back in. I feel it's not very exciting. Doesn't feel like a lot's happening. Not a lot for me to sink my teeth into.
So overall, you're excited for Tom King's Wonder Woman?
I am very excited for Tom King's Wonder Woman. We got a little preview of that out of WonderCon this week, and it looks neat.
Nice. We both read Vanish.
Hey, Vanish is back, baby. Feels like it's been forever, honestly. But
Oh, yeah.
I am super happy to be reading this book again.
And oh boy,
This
Donnie
issue.
Donnie Cates. Sometimes subtext is for other people.
Donnie Cates threw me so hard with this fucking issue that I legit had to. I was like 4 or 5 pages in, and I was like, just gonna go back and reread the last issue to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because what the fuck?
Oh boy.
Because your boy wakes up in an insane asylum, and the whole issue is just him not being able to tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
You know what this is? I just fucking realized this. You know what this is? Donnie Cates has pivoted to fuck Harry Potter, I'ma do it better, to fuck Sucker Punch, I'ma do it better.
For this one issue, because it ends. It fucking ends with the evil Dark Lord stabbing a person and going, "You son of a bitch, you got caught up in a fucking glimmer. You got caught in a fucking..."
Not only that, but he's like, you are fucking pathetic that your dream life is waking up in an insane asylum.
It's pathetic because it's like, it's understandable though, because it's just like, I have been struggling and I just want like I want an excuse for it. I want a reason for it.
I want an excuse for all of it to be gone.
Yeah. But he's just like, "Nah, bitch. You've been absorbing evil shit. You're resurrecting me. Now go fucking kill him."
Oh my god. It's not just Harry Potter. It's not just Sucker Punch. It's Kamen Rider Decade. Everything he did was wrong all along.
It's fucking wild. It's good book. Shit.
This book is insane and I love it.
Gotta love Vanish.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we want to say about this?
The art looked nice.
I
really believed that scene where he thought his wife was visiting him in the insane asylum and he was all sad.
Yeah. I read Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants.
So yeah, this isn't a mistake, everybody. I just decided this week I'm only gonna read Immortal X-Men and Chris can fill me in on the other books.
Hey, I'm Vac.
Do you like? You tell me Ileana was in this fucking book.
Oh no, she's not in this.
Mad. Okay.
Do you like Star Wars?
It's okay.
This is Star Wars. It's legit a takeoff of Star Wars. The book even opens with a fucking crawl.
Typical. Fucking typical.
The whole point is Destiny comes out of her bunker and goes to fucking find Storm and goes like, "All right, so last time I fucked you over, I'm tired of this world. Mystique left me and joined your cause because she was like, this is bullshit. We need to fucking end this universe. We need to go kill Moira." And Storm's like, "All right, cool. Let's do a trench run. Let's do the Death Star." So you have her Brotherhood of Mutants, which is Cable and the one other, like, the worm guy mutant fused together to become X-Man. They have a couple people, and it's just like, oh, that's cool.
Oh man, they brought X-Man back?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so they're doing this whole big thing, and they're diving into all of this, and there's like, they even have a trust the Force Luke moment.
Oh my god.
Because they have one dude who this entire time has been going like, "No, Storm's a goddess. I worship her." And like the Mother Righteous comes in and goes like, "Oh, lonely religion of one. Why do you follow her?" And he goes like, "Because the one time I didn't, people died." And now, trusting in her, believing in her is my faith. And it's just like this really nice, heartfelt moment. They fucking do the thing. They get to the middle of the contraption they're in to steal the Moira lab. And then they cut off Destiny's head because Storm goes, "Yo, too many people have lived and died in this universe. for us to just throw it away willy fucking nilly. We are going to defuse this Moira bomb and figure out the best way to do this. But the only way we can do this is to teleport this whole big contraption out of this Death Star. So let me amplify my mutant powers, use the fact that I'm also magic, which we've been setting up, and use the storm of the cosmos to open up a wormhole and send it someplace else.
Alright.
It's fucking... What the fuck? It's good. But I love how the last one was just Star Trek and this is Star Wars.
Gillen and Duggan must be cackling. Must be doing some shit. Must be.
This is Ewing.
Ewing.
This is Al Ewing.
Ewing.
So yeah. I would at least say give it a skim real quick.
I don't know. I kind of just like while you were explaining to me, I was just like enjoying the thought of Tiffany explaining that to Sal and him rolling his eyes the whole damn time.
But hey, we both read Superman.
Hey, Superman #2, second issue of Williamson's run, and this book is still pretty fucking good.
Introduction to her new character, parasite zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Freaking, like, oh man, I got Caracrumbs.
You got Caracrumbs.
Yeah. And Marilyn Moonlight does seem pretty friggin' cool. I'm interested to know what's up with her. I also love this whole frickin' like underground society remnants of
the pre-Luthor mad scientist Superman fought.
Yeah. And Mercy just like trying her best to be helpful, but also like constantly teasing that you should just do what Lex says. You should just do what Lex says. And he's like, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
But man, Parasite fucking hype in this issue.
Parasite, an actual credible threat to Superman. Oh, what a time to be alive. Because he's always been. He just hasn't been written that way in like 3 fucking decades.
But this one immediately changes that because it's just like, oh shit. They're every fucking where.
Yeah, no, Parasite... I don't want to say Parasite is a COVID allegory, but Parasite is definitely like a big plague thing now.
Yeah. It's good though.
Yeah.
Lois is probably a little excited about this cover considering it's Superman in bondage. Lois is a kinky bitch.
Yeah.
You read GCPD.
The final issue of GCPD, The Blue Wall, is here. And it's fine.
Oh.
It's a logical wrap up to this story. It makes sense. It does everything you would expect it to do. But it's not as like interesting or as challenging as this book has been. Like I don't want to see like it doesn't feel like an anticlimax. It ends the way it should end. But we went from like very hard like, oh, you are saying something, to like an ending that is like, yeah, that's the logical conclusion. That's like
you weren't allowed to say more of what you wanted to say.
Mm-hmm. It's very much like we have to maintain the status quo. We don't want to get on Fox News or anything. So we're just kind of going to do a middle of the road thing that hints at everybody going to a better place later on.
Yeah.
Like the radicalized dude doesn't kill himself or like go out in a blaze of glory. He ends up going to prison and getting rehabilitated. There's hints that Renee Montoya is gonna try and like get back with the program and is gonna try and find a better life for herself, and that like she acknowledges the faults of the system and she's trying to work to fix it and yada yada hoo ha. But like it just feels very, very safe, very middle of the road compared to the rest of this book. And like I can't blame them, but it's also just a bit of a letdown. You went from being a 9 to being a 7.
Eh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I read the final issue of Tiger Division.
How was that?
Um, Doom is just there more for like an external catalyst to make everybody realize of like, oh, maybe this petty squabble isn't as big as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, everybody's fighting, everyone's trying to take care of Doom, and then main character boy looks at the dude who's like fucked him over and goes like, "My fucking dude, it's Doctor fucking Doom. Look, I'm sorry, all these different things happen, but like." One of us is clearly more in the wrong, essentially. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm going to work with you. And Doom's like, oh, you fucking bitches. All right, fuck you. I'm Doom. And then, like, they have to scramble and get the powers back in the one dude. So now he has his powers, and Dr. Doom's like, all right, whatever. I can't get the cool unlimited powers. All right, whatever. See ya. Bye. You're just fucking off? Yeah, I don't. There's nothing I want here anymore.
If I can't get God mode, then why am I even playing?
Yeah, bye. I'm fucked off. And basically, everyone's like, hey, we understand why you lied. It's a little fucked that you did, but we understand. Don't do it again. He's like, I won't. And he goes on to like tell the Korean public about his past. So like he is coming clean. He's learned his lesson.
What a good boy.
Yeah. It was a good little 5-issue miniseries about these fun characters.
Nice.
It's good. Oh, I forgot about Storming the Brotherhood of Mutants that I want to mention.
Yes, sir.
We see an old Marvel boy.
Oh?
Yeah, Novar.
Uh-huh.
We see him old. We saw the Twink Death.
Oh, man. The Twink Death of the universe.
I mean, he just looks like an old man with gray hair. You read Batman One More Day, Ra's al Ghul.
All right. Okay, we're back on the One Bad Day bandwagon. And folks, it's time to talk about Tom Taylor's take on Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, depending on what region of the world you're in. It fucking sucks.
Oh.
Like, this issue is the epitome of you missed the point and just inserted your own agenda. And we've talked before on the show about how Taylor is a very openly left-wing guy who inserts a lot of left-wing politics into his comics. And usually he's able to manage it and make it feel semi-natural. Not here. Because this is an entire book about, like, look at Ra's al Ghul. Don't you feel bad for Ra's al Ghul? Look, he has a dog just like you. Oh, his dog's old and he has to put it down. Isn't that sad? Don't you feel bad for Ra's al Ghul? Look, he's going to try and make the world a better place. He's going to go kill off all the 5 richest people in the world to make the world a better place. But isn't Batman an asshole for trying to stop him? Oh man, don't you hate Batman now? And look at Ra's finally getting a win and actually doing this thing, and that's totally going to have consequences on the greater DC universe, except no, it fucking won't, because this is comics. You can't have like a radically different status quo from the real world. Also, Ra's al Ghul going after just the 5 richest people in the world completely misses the point of Ra's al Ghul as a character, because Ra's al Ghul is a guy who takes it too fucking far. He doesn't say these 5 people in particular. He says this huge group of people is a problem and we need to cull them from the earth. And Batman is the counterpoint to that, saying you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Batman would agree with Ra's that, like, yeah, these 5 people are a problem, but maybe don't kill them. Maybe, like, let's try and get their money away from them and redistribute it. Not, no, Ra's, you can't fuck with these people at all. And, like, there's not even a mention of, like, the fact that Bruce Wayne would probably know these people if comics were real. It's just straight up, like, Ra's goes, I'm going to kill the 5 richest people in the world, and if Batman tries to stop me, I'm going to kill him too. And then when I'm done, I'll bring him back with the Lazarus Pit. And, like, there's a big dramatic Batman and Ra's fight where like Damian is tied up in a hostage and he's all upset, and then like they kill Batman, and Batman passes the mantle on to Damian, and then like 2 pages later they bring Batman back with the Lazarus Pit, and it doesn't look like any time has passed.
Here's the thing.
But,
Here's how here's how I would describe Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul is the kind of guy who would make a complaint about society. Someone would point out, but yet you participate in society. And Ra's al Ghul would go, you know what, you're right. Let's destroy society.
mm-hmm.
What? No, that's not what I meant. No, you're right. The world is fucked. Let's just destroy it all.
Mm-hmm.
But
this book really just it reads like Tom Taylor going like, the 5 richest people in the world are a fucking problem. I'm gonna write a wish fulfillment fantasy where this comic book supervillain kills them for me. And it's like, dude, I get it. I agree with you. But also, this is the wrong fucking supervillain to do that with.
And this is the last one bad day.
Yeah.
Right? So it ends on just a huge fart.
Mm-hmm.
God, I just had a horrible thought.
Let's recap the One Bad Days real quick. Let's recap
real quick before I forget this. Tom Taylor writing Green Arrow.
That would be interesting, because it would be interesting to see if he gets that Ollie is supposed to be a joke, or if he just starts going like, yeah, no, Ollie is right.
Ollie's right, but he's just an asshole about it.
Mm-hmm. But that's the joke, is that Ollie takes it too far and acts like a dickhead. I wonder if Tom Taylor would be self-aware enough to write an accurate Oliver Queen. This issue sure doesn't make it look like that. But anyway, let's go back. Let's recap the One Bad Day.
All right.
You had the Riddler one, which was Tom King, and it was fucking great right out of the gate. Amazing, like, definitive Riddler story, I feel like. Then you had, I can't remember the exact order. I'm just going to go in the order I can remember them. Then you had the Mr. Freeze one, which was okay. Didn't really feel like a definitive Mr. Freeze story, but was a solid one that at least tried to do something a little different. Then you had the Penguin one, which was fucking stupid and like flanderized Batman for the sake of making Penguin look cool. Then you had the Bane one, which was interesting and like had a cool take on like what Bane's one bad day would be, but I don't know if I would like want that story in continuity. Then you have I'm trying to remember, did they do a Scarecrow one? I feel like they did, but I don't remember anything about it if they did. Well, anyways, then you had Catwoman, and Catwoman was actually really good. I liked Catwoman a lot. Very solid, like G. Wilson proving again, like, hey, I'm a good writer. Here's like a solid story about why Selina is interesting as a character in her own right. And also, this artist is just gonna draw like the most like muscly Selina you've ever seen, and it's gonna be great. Then there was the Clayface one, which I legitimately loved. I didn't hear anyone else talk about the Clayface one, but the Clayface one was a freaking great modern Clayface story, in my opinion. That again did something new and interesting with the character. And then you have this one. That's just kind of a wet fart. That's just kind of like you completely missed the point of the character. You thought you had it, but you didn't, and it's really annoying. So overall, was One Bad Day worth it? Kinda. We got at least 3 that I really liked. Would I say like it's something everybody should check out? Maybe just those 3. Maybe just if you really want to, if one of those 3. If Riddler, Catwoman, or Clayface is your favorite Batman villain or one of your favorite Batman villains, check those ones out. The rest of them you can ignore. And if you don't particularly care about those characters, I don't feel like these stories are going to be super impactful in the long run. So it's not a must read.
All right.
Anyways, that was our One Bad Day sidebar. Thank you for joining us.
Tell me about Nightwing.
Oh, fucking. All right, more Tom Taylor. I gotta get it open again.
Haha, fuck you.
Uh, so this issue was okay. Um, like it's a solid, like a midpoint in the arc we're in right now. With the imposter Nightwing getting very quickly found out and getting the crap kicked out of him by the Titans and actual Nightwing. Though there's a hilarious panel where they're like, drop the girl, and imposter Nightwing is like, if you insist, and he just tosses her in the middle of the sky. um, but don't worry, she gets caught. Um, and they very quickly beat it up. It wasn't Clayface. It wasn't some other villain that's known as a shapeshifter. It's a new guy who was made by Neron as like a, hey, you're a fucker who's gonna die in prison. Why don't you come to the demon dimension and I'll give you powers and you can be one of my lackeys. Um, and they basically go like, okay, why did Neron want this kid? Wants the kid's power, wants to get rid of the fact that Blockbuster was able to weasel out of a deal with him, dispel that information, keep up Neron's reputation. And they're like, okay, well, the only way we can stop him from coming after her is to get a hold of like certain documents that Neron has that proves she exists, and this, that, and the other thing. And Beast Boy is like, how the fuck are we gonna do that? Are we just gonna do like, we're gonna go raid Satan's filing cabinet? That sounds insane. We're not gonna do that. And everybody's like, we're totally doing that, Gar. And he's like, God damn it, okay. So next issue, there's gonna be a hell heist, as they decided to call it. And it's fine. It's a decent little transitional issue. Not exactly as entertaining as this book has been, though. Also, I think that cover's kind of lazy looking, but that's just me.
I can see the characters in it, though.
Yeah, like I get what they're going for. It just doesn't feel like as interesting a cover as this series has had in the past.
I read She-Hulk.
Hey.
It's just Jen going on her daily life. She's in the Fight Club with Titania and Thing. They're just hanging out. Luke Cage and Danny Rand are there, and Luke keeps going, tag me in! Somebody tag me in! I want to fight! And they're all going, no!
No one can beat you, asshole.
No! They're going, no, you're the mayor. You can't be in a fighting ring. And he's like, I don't care. And Dan's just like, I'm just happy to hang out, man.
Danny's just vibing.
Danny's just vibing. And just like she's just going about her life, doing her thing. And she goes back to her apartment. She's having dinner with Jack of Hearts. And they like have a whole like routine now of like she wears a certain like radiation holder thing, so like they know it's safe, and they're keeping a thing on everything.
They're doing like a bubble boy.
Yeah, like they can't touch, but they like they can't touch skin, but like she can put her hand on his knee, kind of thing.
I mean, like realistically, it can't be much worse than like Rogue and Gambit. If you guys really want to, there's some freaky latex shit you can do.
Yeah. And he doesn't need to eat anymore because he's basically pure energy. And she asks us, like, do you need to eat anymore? And he's like, no, I don't. But I want to eat because I'm doing it with you.
No.
Like, and she goes, like, does it taste like anything? It's like, not really. But I'm happy doing it with you, you know? And it's like
it's an activity.
But it's also like a little heartbreaking because when he was human earlier in the book, that was his greatest joy, was eating. Because he just was like, oh, I haven't tasted shit in forever. Oh, fucking chocolate. And it's like, now he can't do that anymore. It's really sad.
Yeah.
And then Fantastic Four call and go like, hey, Jen, we need a little help. There's just some like fucky shit happening. She's like, oh yeah.
Oh, is Jen gonna be in the next issue of FF?
No.
Okay.
Because she's there because the Baxter Building's getting fucking raided, and a dude.
Oh, okay. This issue takes place. This issue takes place before Fantastic Four #1.
Yeah. Where a dude's breaking into a thing to steal something, and he's like swab, debonair, swashbuckling, and she's like, he's flirting with her, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he gets away, and it's like, "Oh fuck," and you're like going like, "Oh no, romantic triangle." Overall, it's really good. She-Hulk, pretty good. As long as you remember, it is a romance comedy drama first and a superhero book second. Slice of life. Yeah, it's a slice of life book first and then superhero second.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Nice.
We both read World's Finest.
So how fucking weird is it that, like, 2 weeks after we do Metamorpho, like, not only, like, Metamorpho's fucking voice actor dies, we do that episode the same week, and then in the same month, he shows up in World's Finest.
It's a good fucking issue, though.
Oh, yeah. It was nice finally getting introduced to comic Metamorpho properly.
Yeah,
just how accurate that Justice League episode was.
Other than the amulet.
Yeah, Simon Stagg and fucking Jabba, and even Sapphire Stagg, they all look the exact goddamn same they did in Timverse, which is crazy.
But basically, Simon Stagg gets moited, and Superman and Batman go like, "Hey, Metamorpho, we don't want to say we think it's you, but you're the most likely person. We just need to check in on you." He's like, "Fuck you guys, you know me. I wouldn't do that." And they're like, "Yeah, we know, but we had to check."
It's a very typical murder mystery kind of thing. With the big twist at the end that all stems from the fact that right at the start of the issue, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen are hanging out, and then Clark finds out about what's going on, and he's like, "Jimmy, why don't you investigate on your own? I'm gonna go work another angle." Runs down alley, rips open shirt, and investigating on his own leads Jimmy to the conclusion that fucking Bruce Wayne murdered Simon Stagg.
My theory is Bruce purposefully left clues that would incriminate him so he can get into the case.
I was going to say that or Clayface.
Yeah. Overall, great issue, though.
Oh, yeah, really good. Fucking Mora is in top form. I got multiple Karachromes this week.
Oh, man. Goddamn, Metamorpho was fantastic in this issue.
Oh man, that little event that they hint at the start of the issue of Mxyzptlk and Batmite impersonating Supergirl and Batgirl. I hope that becomes a fill-in issue after this arc.
Overall, really good issue.
Yeah.
I don't think World's Finest has hit a dud yet.
Mm-hmm. The date issue was a little weak. But not
I wouldn't say it was a dud, yeah.
No.
So I read...
Hey, how are things going in the Paulverse?
So hey.
Hey.
You want to know the secret origins of fucking Paul?
I am so excited. Tell me about the greatest comic book character of our time, Paul, no last name.
Okay. So right now, Spider-Man is fighting an ancient Aztec god that Zeb Wells brought into the fucking book, right?
Right.
So here's the fucky thing. Okay, so Norse is science, right? Uh-huh. Norse magic is all really just cosmic quantum science. Mm-hmm. Aztec magic is just math. It's just fancy math. You do math hard enough, it looks like Aztec writing.
I feel like that's something I've seen in a show recently. Where it's like you just have to write specific equations to make spells happen or to make like certain engines work.
Yeah, basically that.
I feel like that was in like Colin or something.
So. The dude who in the last issue was doing the things to fucking do all that shit. It was...
Oh, should be mentioned, by the way. Math is science. It's just like a subdivision of science.
Well, I'm being very specific. It's like, you know what I mean.
know. But I'm poking hole. I'm trying to poke holes in wells there.
So, Paul was actually
Mhm.
one of the co-scientists in symbology, his words, with the fucking science dude who's been reciting the math to summon this god dude.
Paul was a secret asshole?
Paul was not a secret asshole. Paul was a scientist. This is a secret origin.
Paul and Peter are both scientists.
Yes.
Mary Jane has a type.
But they also have a fucking dick measuring contest.
Oh my god.
Because they walk into his lab in this decrepit universe, and Peter goes like, "Oh yeah, no, look, I see all the symbols.
Oh
I'm
my
more of a
god.
totem guy myself." And Paul just looks at him side eye and goes, "I can tell." Because he's a spider totem, get it?
Bruh. Okay, wild fucking theory here.
Yeah,
You say this is like an alternate universe that doesn't exist anymore, right?
yeah.
What if Paul is this universe's Peter?
Peter robbed Paul. Oh.
Also, you're writing MJ out of the book by giving her you're fucking dude, you are Rose Tylering MJ.
Oh my god. Fuck, you know what? With the way
I hope that's what that is. I hope that's what that fucking is.
With the way Romita Jr. draws their faces, Peter and Paul look alike.
Please, just let it be that stupid. Just let it be that stupid.
So a big techno fucking monster starts attacking, and and Spider-Man's trying to get them away, while Paul goes like, hey, they can't get Peter. They can't get Spider-Man. Because if they get Spider-Man, they're going to destroy everything. So MJ's going like, oh shit, I gotta save Peter. Because Peter's going to be a self-sacrificial dickhead and try to save me. Oh fuck. So they build like this little spider thing. Because remember, it's all about symbolism and fucking totems. To send them back to New York. Right? So the monster shows up and Peter like goes, Mary Jane, run, get out of here. And Mary Jane's like, oh fuck. Oh shit. So they're fighting, and then Paul uses, and I shit you not, an octopus gun.
Oh what?
An octopus gun. Because, you see, he had to disrupt the spider totem by confusing it with the octopus totem. Because remember, all of Spider-Man's rogues gallery are also totems. So Mary Jane sneaks the spider thing to send them back to the regular universe onto Peter. It activates, it slices the god in half, and Paul goes like, oh, that's gonna piss him off. And we're above Pennsylvania, and an explosion is happening, and Peter's falling from the air. We are in issue 1 now.
Excellent. Oh my god, amazing. I can't believe it. What a wonderful experience. What a wonderful time for me to be experiencing as a casual Spider-Man fan.
The next cover has Spider-Man talking to the Fantastic Four.
No! No, you fucking don't, bitch. Seriously.
This is just what the fuck? Gee, I'm gonna have to finish this. I'm too far in.
You know, I don't often crib from Mr. Lovehog, but I do have to say it. No, we haven't talked about it yet, Buster. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But this Spider-Man run, this is beginning to sound like a bad comic book plot.
Buddy, I'm not reading mid because I like it.
Boingo is watching Oh, Boingo was reading this run the same way I kept watching Power Rangers Megaforce. It's a sunk cost fallacy.
It's sunk cost, but it's also like no one else is fucking giving a shit about this book. Someone has to fucking explain.
No one else cares enough to be as mad about it as you are. Everybody's just like, "Yep, that's Spider-Man. Spider-Man just sucks in comics now. Whatever."
Like, someone has to fucking read it and actually explain what all the fucking Paul panels are about.
You gotta go behind the meme for the sake of the common man.
We both read Women of Marvel.
This is cute.
It was cute.
This is nice. I like this. I like that there was an actual like
Through
framing
line.
device.
Yeah. All the stories were cute. That none of them were like earth-shattering continuity things. It was just more of like, here's a short story about Silk.
Yeah. Here's a short story about Silk and Black Cat being gay. Am I wrong?
You're wrong. I mean, they was very shown to be platonic.
That's not what Tumblr would have you believe.
Well, Tumblr can read gay into a fucking plank of wood.
Yeah. Speaking of which, here's America Chavez and Hawkeye being gay, except not. It's cute. I like it.
Yeah. Here's Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan being a fun little team up.
Yeah, that was nice. I hadn't read Kamala in a good long while, so it was nice to check in on her and see that now she's got a crazy ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. Question. You probably remember the name better. Is the dickhead lawyer from the She-Hulk thing the dickhead lawyer from the She-Hulk show?
I don't think so. It could be that, but I don't think so.
Either way, it's just a bunch of fun little short stories.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to basically go. No one looks at you, the audience, and goes like, "Women are cool, aren't they?" It's just more of like, here's a bunch of short stories about women.
Yeah,
female characters.
This is more like an average episode of the She-Hulk show rather than that moment in Endgame where we just randomly have a bunch of women walk at the camera for cheap applause.
Hey, cheap heat.
Mm-hmm. Tumblr these nuts indeed, Buster.
We both read Wasp.
Yeah, this was an issue of this book.
I thought it was good.
I mean, it was probably good. It's just a trope I'm fucking sick of in comics. Like, I don't care for we're stuck in a dark alternate reality and we have to find our way back to each other and escape story.
I think it's less that, and it's just more... It's more showcasing why they are important characters, not because they are the Wasp. It's it's a metatextual, like, way of saying, like, these characters are cool characters, not because they have powers, but because they are interesting characters, and they are more important than you're giving them, than you realize.
You're getting a lot more out of this book than I am.
Because without Hank, Janet's still a badass who, like, avenges her fathers and starts the Avengers.
Yeah, she's basically Agent Carter in this.
Without Hank, Nadia is still a badass super spy.
And without Hank, Jarvis is a crazy man on the side of the street.
I think that's just more of like, we need to get Jarvis out of the story.
Yeah.
And like, we're showing Jarvis, like, it's very much it's, if the Ant-Man series was done to just show, like, Ant-Man is cool, guys, Wasp is here to show the Wasp characters are actually important, guys. Mm-hmm. They're like
so maybe we could actually make some goddamn Marvel Legends of those ladies.
They're like the cornerstones of Marvel to an extent.
Yeah.
Janet's important. She's a founding member of the Avengers for a reason. she's not only a pretty face, you know.
Yeah.
Metatextually. Remember, you're reading Ewing. It's also a lot of metaphor.
Yeah. Just don't look at those millions of issues written by Stanley.
You read half of it. Because the half that's like pro feminist, yeah, read that. But the other half where she's just going goo goo gaga over a pretty face, you can skip that.
Look at Forrest muscles. Oh my
god. God damn it, Stan. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Stan was a special person.
Here you go, Buster.
Oh man, it's time.
It's time
for peak fiction, boys. Oh man.
It's
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 106 by Melissa Flores and Simonia de Galafanis. I'm gonna say, is how you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Yeah. This issue was really fucking good. I had the final page spoiled for me because all of Power Rangers Twitter posted it and flipped out and took it out of context. But we'll get there. We'll get to that. I'm actually going to wait and progress through the story naturally, like a normal fucking person does, instead of posting it randomly on Twitter with no fucking spoiler tags. I'm not upset. So it opens with a flashback to thousands of years ago where we see the first encounter between Rita and Lord Zed, and like they're naturally enemies because Lord Zed doesn't work for Dark Spectre. This is a really cool like expounding on the original show because if you'll recall, Rita was the Empress of Evil, and then Zed was the Emperor of Evil, and then Master Vile was the Master of all evil, and then we kind of deviated for a bit with the Machine Empire and Divatox. But then Dark Spectre shows up, and he's the monarch of all evil. So people often theorize, like, oh, he was the big boss all along. All the villains were always working for him. Not fucking true. Zed had his own intergalactic conquest going on, and then Dark Spectre and Master Vile were doing a thing over here, and they run into each other via Rita. There's a big old it's like a dark inversion of the Shang-Chi opening fight of Zed and Rita fighting each other and going like, you know what would be fucking awesome if we just teamed up and you were like my spy for your father. And Rita eventually decides to work with him in like a very I'm only doing this to get ahead kind of a way. But then we cut back to the present, where the Rangers are basically having a big old Zoom call with each other and Zordon and the people over at oh god, what's it called? Promethea, trying to decide what the best course of action is with Alpha One and Mistress Vile's forces coming after them. And they basically go like, well, it seems like everything is in jeopardy now, so we might as well just deploy everybody to their pre-assigned planets because we can't risk losing Earth, but we also can't risk losing Safe Haven, and if we put all our eggs in one basket either way, we're going to get fucked. So Zordon recalls all the Mighty Morphin Rangers that are on Safe Haven to Earth, and as soon as he hangs up, they all just look at the Omegas and they're like, yeah, fuck that. We're staying and helping our friends because we already know Alpha One is on his way. Meanwhile, on Earth, because like there's also like a big bombastic fight and a lot of stuff happens, and there's a cool heart-to-heart scene between Trini and Kimberly where they catch up for like the first time in issues and issues, and it's really sweet. And then we get the big fight, but also we cut back to Promethea, where I guess in between issues, unless I missed something, Zed has been transferred from the power chamber to there. Oh yeah, that's right, because they had to abandon the command center site because of it getting compromised by Mistress Vile. But Zed's in a jail cell there, and he's basically having a conversation with what's her name, the head of Promethea, whose name is escaping me at the moment, used to be a Red Ranger. And she's basically just going like, yeah, there's no way you're breaking out of here, and it doesn't matter what you think. Zordon's gonna win. Now we're gonna stop Mistress Vile. You're done now, Zed. Your fight is over. Grace, thank you, Buster. And And he's just like, "You stupid bitch! I've got 10 more plans up my sleeve. Just you wait." Um, but then we cut back to the fight at Safe Haven, and the Rangers win. They kick the shit out of Alpha One, and then we cut back to Earth, and we check in on Jason, who's just, he's just having a normal night in with his dad, doing the dishes after dinner. But there's a knock at the door, and Tommy shows up. And we get this really sweet, really nice, like one page heart to heart scene between Jason and Tommy, where Tommy just goes like, "Dude, everything's gone crazy since you left. I'm in over my head here. What do I do?" And Jason just gives him the reassurance of like, "Hey, you knew the risks that were coming in with being a Power Ranger. You knew there were going to be difficult decisions ahead. You just got to trust your gut and do what you think is right, and hopefully it'll all turn out okay in the end. I left you and Trini as team leaders because I knew you guys could handle it. Don't worry, you've got this." And there's like a really sweet moment where Tommy just goes, "I miss you, man," and he goes, "I miss you guys too," and they fucking embrace, and you can see like Tommy's crying, and it's like, oh my god, this is like the most accurate these characters have been written, talking to and about each other since Missing fucking Green back in season 2. I loved it. It made me so happy, and like genuinely I got a little bit emotional reading it. Because that's the thing. Everybody wants to think like, oh, Tommy is this badass lone warrior who came in and was turned to the side of good and very quickly became the leader and just shoved Jason to the side, and he was the big strong, he's a fucking Gary Stu, always gonna win the day, badass man. No, Tommy, the thing that makes Tommy great is he goes from being a villain to becoming a ranger to getting that leadership position, but is also constantly second guessing himself and constantly going, "Hey, I'm just a guy. I'm just another ranger. I'm in over my head here too, and I'm just trying to manage things as best I can." The fact that I've had all these big moments throughout the years is just dumb luck, and I'm relying on everyone else as much as they're relying on me. And this scene shows that Melissa Flores fucking gets that, and I appreciated that so, so much. Tommy in the comics, not counting Soul of the Dragon, is probably the best he's been written since Dino Thunder Black. Yeah, like this feels totally in keeping with that Dino Thunder Black characterization, where he got swallowed up by being a ranger and he had to find the person again. Like this is peak Tommy Oliver right here. But then for the last scene of the book, we cut back to Promethea, where the artifact that the Rangers had recovered from Mistress Vile, which also there was a bunch of fucking mumbo jumbo techno babble explanation at the start of the book that basically Mistress Vile is trying to pull another shattered grid. She just doesn't have the power that Lord Draken did, so she needs a MacGuffin to do it. And also like the way they explain it made me think like, oh, that might play a little bit into what they're setting up with the 30th anniversary special, but that's neither here nor there. And then a like Promethea guard guy shows up and taunts him and shows up to Zed in the cell and goes like, "Hey, you're not getting out of here, you piece of shit." And Zed's like, "Really? You think this cage could hold me ever? I've just been biding my time." And he fucking grabs the guy, chokes him out, walks through the bars, and Grace and her assistant guy run to see what's happening. And you just see like this room of knocked out guards. And Zed just goes like, You stupid fucks. You played into my plan the whole time. I've had this waiting here for me. This little special little nugget I've been saving this whole time, and I believe there's a special phrase that goes along with it. It's morphin' time. Lord Zed has fucking morphing grid powers now.
Like, I don't even know why anybody could be like mad at like that as a conceptual idea of like, oh, your bad guy just like upped its power and it's challenging your heroes.
People were upset about it because they see it as like Boom has done like little side books here and there where other characters who haven't had powers before have gotten powers. And a lot of people see it as like, oh, Boom's just on this weird quest to make everybody from the original show a Power Ranger, no matter how little sense it makes. And I'm like, one, no, they're not. There's plenty of characters who haven't gotten close to being a Power Ranger yet. Ernie's been in these books. I haven't seen him pick up a fucking Power Morpher. Two, it makes perfect sense here. Because here's the thing. This Morpher that was in Promethea, they set that up in Ryan fucking Parrott's run. Back in Power Rangers number 19, somebody went and dug up and said, hey, like, because Melissa Flores got asked on Twitter, like, hey, was this a thing? Were you planning this? And she's like, I wasn't planning it. I was picking up something that was left for me. And somebody found a specific moment, and I think it's Mighty Morphin number 19, where after Finster had been captured by Promethea for a while, he gets back to Zed, and Zed just asks him, like, hey, did you put that thing in the base I asked you to? And he's like, yeah, but I don't know why you did. That would have been much more useful if we had it here. And Zed just goes, because by the time the Rangers figure out it's there, it'll be too fucking late. And that's the thing, is like, this Master Manipulator Zed that they've been doing. Oh, it was in MMPR number 19. Oh man, that's way back. Okay. So like Flores is playing with all kinds of continuity, both in these comics, both in the show, and melding it together into this really cool original story that fits both Power Rangers as a franchise and comic books as a storytelling medium that feels natural and takes us away from what we thought she was doing in the last couple issues. Like, I'll even put my hand up and say, I was one of the people who was a little worried we were about to turn Lord Zed and Zordon into another Magneto Professor X character dyad. But instead, it's fucking Reed Richards and Doctor Doom. Because Lord Zed has had this master plan all along to give himself a crazy cosmic power.
Also, he's a petty bitch.
With. Yeah.
Overall, did you like the book?
I really liked it. I feel like this is the best issue of Power Rangers in a good while.
That's good. You also read The Flash.
Hey, The Flash, number 796?
795, 1 Minute War, Part 6.
Hey, okay. Actually, let me just go ahead and catch up on what all Buster was saying in the chat there, because I was being a bit selective. Let's get ready to rumble. Most of PR Twitter doesn't even read the comics, mostly about Ernie, enemies to lovers, baby. Power Rangers really does have shonen BS scaling just for the villains. Speaking of Alpha 1, I headcanon him as more of a Zim voice given. Yeah, that makes sense. I could go with that. We read that. I haven't read Soul of the Dragon for the record, so I don't know. I liked Soul of the Dragon. I thought Soul of the Dragon was pretty good. I don't like how JDF was kind of trying to hold it up as like this be-all end-all story towards the end of his life, but I liked it as its own thing. Said really want Ranger install. There's more OC Rangers than old characters becoming Rangers. Yeah. I'm liking this run, what this run is doing, though I need to wait for the conclusion to determine my thoughts. Obviously. But judging this as a single issue, like, it's just like a compounding of everything that has been going on with the Power Rangers comics since Flores took over. Just like giving most of the characters a little something each issue, having like a big cool action set piece that runs through the whole issue, and having like a slow build up to an awesome reveal that totally makes sense, and just playing with the show's canon and the comics canon in a way that naturally melds together. But yeah, let's talk about Flash.
Flash.
So this issue.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't been reading Flash, but 1 Minute War is a fucking badass title for a bunch of speeders, because this is like, oh shit, they're fighting an entire war for what the real world sees as 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. And this issue actually opens up as like a big badass we're about to go into battle kind of scene, because it opens with narration from Jesse Quick. And I should admit, oh, hey, Huey. Welcome to the show. We're talking about Flash. Uh,
But not that
he,
kind of Flash. Keep it in your pants.
yeah, we're talking about Barry Allen, or specifically Jesse Quick, whose real name is escaping me at the moment. I'm guessing it's Jesse something. Uh, but she has like this opening narration as we see somebody suiting up, and she's kind of talking about like her past and her backstory of a character, which is really helpful to somebody like me who like I know Jesse Quick is a character, but I don't know much about her as a character specifically because I'm not the most well-read Flash fan. I kind of dip in and out in the modern era. Um, and that's like post Flash Rebirth modern era. Uh, but you see her suiting up, and she's kind of talking about like what her mom meant to her and how her mom was a member of the Justice Society of America. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. And she's like, this situation, the world doesn't need Jesse Quick today. Today it needs Liberty Bell. And you see her join the others, suited up as Liberty Bell. It's not focusing too well. And I didn't know that Jesse Quick's fucking mom was Liberty Bell, but that's a really cool character touch.
Yeah.
And they all just basically go like, and Barry just goes to everyone like, all right, you know your assignments, you know what we have to do, that we get one shot at this, and they all run off into battle. And from there, it's just basically a big infiltration issue of them going into the enemy base, doing all these things to take it out, and slowly, like getting more and more hints of like, okay, Jay's alive. We got to rescue Jay. We've rescued Jay. Oh shit! Look at all these villains. We got to stop all these crazy villains. Um, oh hey, it looks like if we actually stop them in this certain way we were planning to, we might be able to get Wally back. We might be able to stop them, as was hinted at the end of the last issue. We might be able to stop them before they even landed. And there's a big knockout, drag down fight between Barry and the main big bad. And it looks like Barry's on the ropes, but then we cut away to elsewhere, and we find out that Wally's not dead. He's in a pocket dimension called Planet Flash, where all these variants of Flash characters, long dead characters that people have been upset are dead, and that character that was like a future great granddaughter of Booster Gold and Blue Beetle are there. Like fucking Lagoon Boy is there. One of the different versions of Hawk is there, or Dove is there. Fucking Devil Boy is there. All these crazy characters that we thought were dead. Jeremy Adams is just going like, nah, if y'all are kicking me off the book, Wally's not dead, and he's bringing back all these other like late 90s, mid 2000s characters that people miss with him.
Yeah.
And that was fucking awesome. So, very solid issue. Looking forward to the conclusion of this arc.
Nice. We both read Doctor Strange.
So I liked this issue.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
However, I think we have to acknowledge how fucking stupid it is that this is the third #1 in this one writer's run on Doctor Strange. In as many years, too.
Yeah, it ain't great, but hey,
I'm all for renumbering to keep people interested in whenever a new writer comes on. But a new #1 every year for the same guy's run, I don't care if it's like it's a thematic thing, you're doing a free act structure thing, because we had Death of Doctor Strange, then we had Strange, and now Steven's back, so we're in regular Doctor Strange.
I mean, technically, those are all 3 different books.
But also, like, I think it could have all just been one Doctor Strange run, or you could have had a book called The Death and Return of Doctor Strange.
But then he's not super... technically, they're all different books. Technically.
It's silly.
It is silly. But overall, good book.
Yeah, I like the way this book opens, especially. It's just there's a very cozy like week in the life format they do for the first half of it that I really enjoy.
It's really a slice of life. It's you see Steve and Clea's fucking like just being married, just loving each other.
Mhm.
Steven
The
just
weird differences between them, where like Steven's trying to help out and Clea's constantly threatening to cut people's heads off.
I love you, honey, but please don't murder. A little
Hmm.
murder, no murder. Aww.
Well, no, there is a little murder moment because there's a moment where Daredevil's fighting like a big demon thing, and Steven's like, "I can't help you right now," and he's like, "Well, could you send somebody?" And then he just looks over his shoulder and he's like, "The Warlord of Manhattan will be with you shortly."
But it's all cute, and Steven's just like, hey, I want to help people with my magic shit. It's all
Hmm.
good.
And then some shit goes down with an alternate dimension, and the Sorcerer Supreme there makes a threat against him and Clea, and then he gets blowed up, and it looks like Clea's gonna get accused of that murder.
Yeah. And then the backup is really good, too.
Yeah, the backup's interesting.
Because basically, Wong restarts Magic Shield to try and help Strange.
Just give Wong something to do so you can make it more valid that he's such a big deal in the MCU.
And they team up with a guy who wants to give everybody mushrooms.
Nice.
It's good. It is good, solid Doctor Strange fun.
Hmm.
Is that the last book?
Is that it? Are we
That's the
done?
last book.
Oh my god!
That's the last book, everybody. We talked about all the books we read.
We did it. We did everything. We did the whole podcast. We did all 3 podcasts. We duct taped them together and we did it.
We did it. They are duct tape.
And it's only half past midnight.
They are duct tape ass to mouth. Human Centipede of podcasts. Hey, Vac.
Hey, we didn't say during the comics, what was your book of the week?
Certainly isn't Spider-Man.
Thanks, Huey. We really appreciate the support.
Um, you know what? It's either Storm in the Brotherhood or Superman.
I think for me, it's either Power Rangers or Vanish.
Vanish is up there too. Vanish is good.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Good comics this week. Good comics.
Good comics.
Hey everybody,
Couple
good
stinkers.
comics.
Couple stinkers, bit of mid, but some really good books that made it worth it.
Putting it like a little bit of mid is putting it lightly when fucking Spider-Man is right there.
No, Spider-Man's the stinker. The stinkers were Ra's al Ghul and Spider-Man, and then like the mid was GCPD, and I can't remember if you named something you thought wasn't that great.
God damn it! What are we getting out of the math hellhole, Spider-Man? No more math.
No more math. Boingo Rider 2023.
You had one more day. No more math.
Somebody edit that panel of the Scarlet Witch. No more math.
Tell the people where they. Oh, nope, wrong button. Tell the people where they can find you.
Hey everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos about things and stuff. My latest video is actually doing gangbusters, so you don't really need to check it out. But hey, I appreciate any more support we can get. I did a video basically reviewing, but just kind of generally discussing the 2 recent Transformers Legacy Armada Universe figures, and like how I'm very excited that we're finally getting some Unicron trilogy attention in the Generations line. So you can find that and all the other YouTube videos I do over at The Vacuuminator here on YouTube. I'm also on social media. You can find me on Twitter at The Vacuuminator. You can find me on Tumblr, thevacuuminator.tumblr.com. You can find clips of my older YouTube videos on TikTok, _Vacuuminator. And you can find my daily action figure photography posts on Instagram at _Vacuuminator.
Yeah. I'm Boingo. Hi. How are you? I hope you're doing good. I have a variety of places you can find me on the internet, such as Twitch, twitch.tv/BoingoWriter. You can also find me on a variety of social media platforms: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr. Links in the description. Or you can find me at Boingo_writer on these platforms. And hey, do you like YouTube videos? I got YouTube videos. Search for Boingo Writer and to see video essays, editorials, and video reviews of Common Writer Geeks. How about them apples?
Them are some tasty apples. I like apples.
The only Apple product I have is an iPhone.
Oh man. I more so prefer like the organic matter that you can ingest for your mouth hole than like the techno products.
Hey, guess what? This is No Price Podcast. We talk about comics. You've watched this. Hey. We also have a bunch of other podcasts, including Components, which is basically just a late night Discord hangout sesh with the buds, but it's parasocial and you get to listen to it.
Yeah, it's a good time.
We also have Analytical Fanboys, which is a monthly media club where one of the members will say a thing that the rest have to watch, and then we talk about it. This month is going to be Why the Last Man.
Yeah, it would be coming out this week, but we had a scheduling conflict, so we did a filler episode of Components, and you'll be getting Why the Last Man in 2 weeks.
Yeah. But there's also another podcast on this platform. Hey, would you tell the people about Twit?
This Week in Toku is where myself and Buster discuss all the latest news and new releases from the wild world of Japanese live-action special effects. We've got Godzilla news, we've got Ultraman news, we've got Sentai news, we got Rider news, we got Power Rangers news, we've even got a little bit of Pacific Rim news, and we got a new episode of Kamen Rider and a new episode of Osama Sentai King Oger to talk about this week, as well as my thoughts checking out Denji Sentai Mega Ranger for the first time. So, gonna be a rip-roaring good time this Tuesday on Twit.
Yeah. So remember to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel to get these podcasts and many more. And in the meantime, Vac, do you have anything else you would like to say?
I need to ask you a question first. How long have we been recording?
2 hours, 36 minutes.
We've been recording for 2.5 hours. And it's 79 degrees here. And I've been wearing this fucking beanie. Oh my god, it's so fucking hot!
Enough said.